Well, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to another Friday night. You know what that means? Another lawn care live stream. My name is Ron Henry, and I'm here to answer your lawn care questions. If this is your first time to the live stream, first of all, welcome. The way this works, really simple. Just drop your questions down in the chat, and I work through them in the order that they come in. Sometimes I have the answers, sometimes I don't. But either way, we have a great time talking about lawn care projects, weeds in the lawn, and all our goals and aspirations. So it's always a good time. So welcome. Let us see who is here tonight. All right, so Jeremy Espinoza is starting the night off, right? He says, I'm sipping on some whiskey. It's not a bad thing, Jeremy. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. You guys can tell it's a little bit cold in Georgia, probably across the rest of the country, but I got my hoodie on today because it's a little bit nippy. But yeah, whiskey definitely can help keep you warm, right? So a nice way to spend the Friday evening, to hang out on a Friday evening. All right, next up we got Andrew in the house saying, hello all, what's going on, Andrew? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. And Higgy Pop, always a regular in the live stream, always a regular, always coming to hang out and see what's going on with everybody. It's always nice to see you here. And you see you got some Makers. Makers is good, man. I like when I make a whiskey sour, I use Makers. So yeah, it's like just Makers. Makers, you go to a restaurant or you go to a bar, Makers are going to charge you top shelf prices for that. So it's a good whiskey. I do like that one. But yeah, man, thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. And then we got our first question, and it kind of leads into the topic, because tonight we're talking about keeping weeds out of your lawn, right? So obviously other topics are open. You guys want to talk about mowers or top dressing or anything else? That's all fine and good too. But the main topic we're going for tonight is how to prevent weeds from being a huge issue in a couple of months. So cool. And to help with that, you see Andrew comes in with a great question or a great comment. He says, I just dropped some dithiopyr last September and glad to report no winter weeds so far. Best I've seen my yard while in dormancy, which is, yeah, it's absolutely right. So you did exactly the right thing, Andrew. The thing I want to talk about tonight is really the importance of pre-emergent, right? The importance of pre-emergent. If there's anything for any of you guys that are new, I know some of the vets that are in here, like, yeah, we know pre-emergent, but anyone that's new, if you want to know the secret sauce to keeping weeds out of your lawn, or to seriously minimize the amount of weeds you have in your lawn, it's called pre-emergent. If you ever see some of the lawns in your neighborhood, where the person's lawn looks like there's never a weed in sight, it's not because they're out there pulling weeds all the time, or they're out there spot spraying with herbicide all the time. It's because they put pre-emergent down in most cases, and they have good mowing practices, which helps keep weeds out. But yeah, it's cool, man. So you ran dithiopyr in September. So what are your plans for the spring, Andrew? You plan to switch it up? I imagine you're trying to switch it up. So as far as pre-emergent goes, right, there's a couple of, there's two main ones that you see used by most homeowners on their lawns. So there's one that Andrew's talking about here, dithiopyr, a little bit more expensive than the other one I'm going to talk about, which is probably the most common, which is Prediamine. So in the case of Andrew, right, he put down dithiopyr in the fall. So depending on the rate he used, he's probably going to want to switch it up to Prediamine in the springtime. So it's always good to alternate back and forth if you can. But yeah, that's literally one of the best things you can do for keeping weeds out of your lawn. It's I always say, kind of like most things in life, right? It is far cheaper to prevent the problems in the first place than to fix them after the fact. And it's really reflected in the price of pre-emergent. I got a couple of options up here that I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight. Pre-emergent in comparison to post-emergent herbicides, so weed killer that you use after the weeds are already around, is a lot cheaper. It's far cheaper to use pre-emergent on your lawn a couple times per year than it is to have to go out and buy things like Celsius or Tenacity or Triad or something like that to try and get rid of weeds in your lawn once they're an issue. So how do you make the decision? How do you decide? How do you decide which way to go? When it comes to pre-emergent, they come in really two major delivery mechanisms, right? You can do granular, which for most homeowners, that's honestly the easiest way to go. It's a little bit less intimidating. If it's your first time around, granular is a good way to go as far as pre-emergent. And there's liquid. Now, as far as which way you get more value for money, liquids by far, right? But then there's also, you have to measure it, you have to mix it, you have to have a backpack sprayer, you have to have that said sprayer calibrated properly. You need to use the correct spray tips. I think I've got one here, I dropped it. You got to use the correct spray tips to make sure you get a good application. So there's more involved in that, but you get more out of using a a liquid Prediamine or liquid pre-emergent than a granular. So something I was going to talk to you guys about tonight, show you guys some cool things here. So as far as the first option that I said, right, and this one was good for like warm season grass and cool season grass. So if you guys, all you cool season guys that always say Ron never has anything for me, see, I got something for you this time. Got something for you. Got you covered. So as far as the one that works well on pretty much all grass types, Prediamine, which is this guy here. This is a 5 pound jug of it. This is a great pre-emergent, effective for 3 to 4 months. Some people say longer, but really, 3 to 4 months is about what you're going to get. And it combined with proper mowing, it can do a great job of keeping weeds out of your lawn most of the growing season. Like Alex last year, we did just this. We did just Prediamine on his lawn, and we did it in early February, so pretty early, just to test something out. And he had no issues whatsoever in his lawn all year, all throughout the growing season, all throughout the spring, summer, no problems at all, right? Second option, which is so what do you do now if you messed up, right? So you didn't do what Andrew did. You didn't put down your fall pre-emergent, and now you got some POA in your lawn. You got some other weeds in your lawn. So you want to do both. You want to get rid of the existing weeds, and you want to prevent more weeds from coming in. Well, for warm season grass, a great option is this, which is Coastal. And I did a video on this already. I'll link it here in the chat for you guys to see. This is a really, really good product. I actually used this on my lawn this fall. I tested it out, and I'm really happy with the results that I'm getting from it. Like, the lawn is, all you see is a brown dormant lawn, right? There's no weeds in sight. The pre-emergent in Coastal is Prediamine. But then it also has 2 post-emergent herbicides. So it's a combination. You got like the pre-emergent to prevent new weeds from coming in. And then you have the post-emergent, simazine and imazaquin, which imazaquin, if you guys ever heard about Image, which is what you see like at Home Depot for killing nutsedge and for targeting POA, that's what's in here, right? So as far as an option for people that have warm season grass that want to get rid of existing weeds, in most cases probably going to be POA or those types, and prevent and also get a pre-emergent down, this is a great option. So, because I know you guys are going to be in need of your pre-emergent weed killers or those types of things, if you guys look in the chat at the top, I pinned a comment to a new collection that we added to the golf course lawn store. I've been doing some stuff in the off season. Put some work in, guys. We're putting some work in, So if you guys notice, I revamped the website, gave it a nice clean look. And if you go to shop and then weed killer, under here, you got a bunch of different options. So you've now got liquid Prediamine, you've got some Celsius for you warm season guys, and then in addition to that, we've got it in both granular and granular for both Prediamine and also for dithiopyr. So now the question is why would you want to go with, when would you want to decide you want to just use a liquid or a granular? Again, if you have a backpack sprayer and you're comfortable using it, meaning you've been through a season of using a backpack sprayer to do your fertilizer apps, or you're just confident. You go through like what we teach in the Golf Course Lawn Academy of calibrating the sprayer properly, so you know what your walking pace needs to be like, what your flow rates are going to be like. And if you're good with that, then liquid's by far the way to go. But if you're new and you're saying, hey, you know what, I want to take care of weed control myself this year, but I want to have a little bit of fudge factor to where if I have an oopsie, I'm not going to, the likelihood of me damaging the lawn is going to be a lot less. That is when the granulars, like what you see here, like Prediamine in a granular, this guy right here, or dithiopyr in a granular come in. Now, let's say you haven't decided, right? If you had to choose between the two, if you're asking me my opinion, for the springtime, especially for Bermuda grass lawns, right? So like where we eventually have to deal with crabgrass. Like crabgrass is the thing we're trying to stay away from. I am a fan of dithiopyr. You can use either one. You can use Prediamine, which is going to work well, and you can also use dithiopyr. Here's something you could consider doing too, right? You could do your early pre-emergent app like at like a lower rate with Prediamine, like to start, like say like late February, mid-late February, whenever you decide to do it, or early March. And then for whenever like April timeframe rolls around, you want to do another app, you could go with dithiopyr, again, at below rate, because you're basically putting 2 pre-emergents in the lawn. The reason why dithiopyr is nice is that it can target, like you have baby crabgrass that's already started germinating and trying to, ruin your lawn for the season. Dithiopyr, even though it's labeled as a pre-emergent, has a little bit of reach back on baby crabgrass. So something to keep in mind, just two options for you. And again, if you have a really, really small lawn, you guys have seen this before in the live stream, but I'll show you guys this because I want to make sure you guys have your lawns weed free. And I'm already starting to get emails from people saying, hey man, I got a lot of weeds in my lawn. What can I do? What can I do to prevent them from, in the spring? So that's why we're talking about pre-emergent. We're talking about weed control tonight. If you have a smaller lawn, you could go with this. So it's Prediamine in a 5-ounce container. This is going to treat up to 6,000-ish square feet, thereabout 6,000 square feet. If you have a warm season lawn like Bermuda, if you have a cool season lawn, it'll go a bit further. So if you have a smaller lawn and you just want, you don't want to have like a tub around, then this is the way to go. This is far, 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 far greater value for money. And again, as long as you keep it dry in your garage, it's not going to really go bad. So it just depends on which way you want to go. So a couple options, and the first thing I wanted to open up with tonight, because I know you guys really wanted to, I'm getting a lot of email about weeds and keeping them out of your lawn. So I figured, even though we're in late January, towards the end of January, it's a good time to go in and start having that conversation about weed control. And again, as you guys saw, in addition to the pre-emergent, which again, if you're doing everything right, if you're using either Prediamine or Dithiopyr and you're mowing your lawn a couple times a week, you really shouldn't need the stuff I'm about to show you next. But in case you messed up and you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you've got Celsius for your warm season grass. You have Triad, which is, the way to think about Triad is take like Spectracide, but like bumped up a notch. So Triad is a good broadleaf. It doesn't have quite the coverage of Celsius, but that's another option, and the price reflects it's a little bit cheaper. And then for you cool season guys, you've got Mesotrione, which is basically it's the active ingredient in Tenacity. So if you want Tenacity at a cheaper price, or just without paying the brand name prices for it, you can get that here. And then finally, Halo Select, which is basically sedge hammer. So if you're trying to target sedges, that's what you're dealing with. So, but again, guys, if you are doing it right, if you get your pre-emergent down, your need for those other herbicides is going to be a lot less. And as you guys can see, again, click on the link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Like the price difference between pre-emergent and like to kill the stuff afterwards, big difference, right? So kind of like going to the doctor. Keep yourself healthy, and it's easier to stay in shape and not develop health problems than it is to fix them after the fact. Same thing when it comes to lawn problems. All right. So moving on, we got, let's see who else we got here in the house. We got another comment here from Higgy Pop. This is a good one. I like this. He says, can I use my backpack sprayer for fertilizer and weed killer? How do I clean it after using a weed killer? It's a good question. So the answer is yes. You can use it for both. I use mine for both. The big thing is I rinse it out after every use. So some people will, they'll leave whatever product they have in the backpack sprayer, whatever's left over for a long period of time. I'm not a fan of doing that. I think it's hard on the seals. It can cause deposits to form. It's just better to not leave stuff in it if you can help it. So in a situation where, like, for example, last year, right, where I applied Coastal. I put Coastal down. Actually, I didn't put a link for that. So in case you guys don't want Coastal, let me do that really quick, because I tend to go off on tangents and I'll forget. Somebody will be like, you didn't post that, and then you guys will be mad at me. All right, so there it is. It's in the chat. So in the case where you use it to your backpack predators to say apply Prediamine or Coastal or whatever, or Celsius, like the Celsius Certainty combo I talk about, the big thing is just make sure you rinse it out really well. So how do you do that? Well, I tend to go on the low side whenever I'm mixing up herbicide. I'd almost rather have just not enough than have too much left over. So the big thing is to use up all the product that or mix enough that you're going to use what you put in the backpack sprayer. And then once you're done, rinse the tank out a couple of times. The way that I do that is this. So if you don't want to, because I'm not a fan of like taking, like, if you have a little bit of like the dregs, a little bit of product left in the backpack sprayer, taking that and dumping it in one spot on the lawn. What I will do is I'll take the backpack sprayer and I'll put I'll fill the tank up like a quarter way. So I'm seriously diluting whatever's left in there, right? And I'll just walk around the lawn and I'll spray that out. You know what I mean? So it's not that much. It won't take you that long to get rid of it, but it's a way of getting rid of it in a way that you're dispersing it over a larger area versus dumping it out, right next to your house or dumping out in the flower beds or something that people commonly do. So again, by making sure you're using or you're measuring it out to you're only pretty much putting you're only creating as much mix as you need. That's going to go a long way. Once you're done, again, put a quarter tank of water in that sprayer, run that out, and then what I'll do is I'll just run, once I'm finished with that, I will do another quarter tank of water and just run the sprayer for like 30 seconds to make sure that everything is flushed out of the pump, the boom, all the lines, just 30 seconds, and then dump that water out, and you're good to go. If you are someone that is, spraying stuff all the time, like, every day you're out there doing it, so you're not like a homeowner, this probably matters a little bit less. But if you're someone that you spray your products and you put the sprayer up for 2-3 weeks at a time, I think it's important to clean it out between uses. So yeah, absolutely, Higgy Pop, you can. There's no issues with that whatsoever. Also, think about it, right? Any little bit of herbicide that's left in there, which it really shouldn't be if you're doing the process that I'm telling you, it's going to be so diluted that it's not going to have an effect. So if you go through, you put down like Celsius, and then you follow it up, with your next application, you're putting down like a foliar app of Fert. There's not going to be enough in there really that's going to cause any negative effects on the grass. So good question. That's a good one. It's a good thing to keep in mind when it comes to using a backpack sprayer. But yeah, no worries at all. You shouldn't have to you're obviously you're overthinking it, but it's a great question, but no need to worry. Just make sure you clean it out properly. All right, yeah, and Andrew's saying the same thing. He says, yeah, fill it with water, spray and flush out the previous chemical. So he said it in a sentence. I must pontificate on my responses. So there you go. Just make sure you rinse it out good, and you're good to go. Okay, we got Mark F in the house. He's saying, hello, Friday night friends. What's going on, Mark? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming to hang out, as always. And then we got Jose Amate saying, hey, Ron, I painted the lawn. You did it. Okay. All right. He says, I'll email you the before and after. One of my neighbors thought I overseeded. Post email, I'll send you pictures. Sure, yeah. So I already put it in the chat, but my email is ron@golfcourselawn.com. If you send me pictures, I can see if I can find it and get it on here. We'll see. I'll see if I can get it into the live stream. I'm not sure, if I'll be able to. Oh, actually, I see your email. It just came in. So yeah, I will see if I can get this out here, and I'll show everyone what the before and after is. You guys want to see the before and after of Jose's lawn? You guys can tell me if you think it's believable or not. All right, so technology, don't fail me now. This is his before. Let's see if this will go in. That's his before. That's what the lawn looks like now. Or before he, put the lawn paint down. Nice house, by the way. Very nice. Nice lawn. I like it. Looks like keeping it mowed nice and tight. That's the before. And this is the after. Let's see here. I'm going to drop you down. And that's the after. So from the street, I got to tell you, from the street, we're pulling back here. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. I mean, you got a couple of little hot spots, but overall, I gotta hand it to you, man. That's almost believable. That's believable. Again, driving by, I think it looks like your lawn just is green. Like I could see how your neighbor could go with the overseeding. The thing is, it didn't look like you went too heavy, right? Like if we take a look at this again. You didn't go too heavy on it, so it looks believable, right? Some people will get out there and it's like, like emerald green, like super, super dark green, like, like late spring green, and you didn't do that. So it looks believable. Not bad. I stand corrected that you can actually get a decent look with the lawn paint. That's it's not bad. You have to let me know how it holds up, how it wears, and all this kind of stuff. But it looks good. Doesn't look bad at all, man. For just some curb appeals people are driving by. Yeah, I would say that. What kind of paint did you use? You can post in the chat if you want. Here's the thing. I have seen it done, and I've seen it done really badly. Like I've seen someone like not too far from me do it, and it didn't look like that. It didn't look like that. And the thing is, for someone that's into their lawn, we know. You're only really, only the people that don't really know lawns or don't really know grass are gonna really buy it, which again is really most of the population, right? So someone like me, I'll look at it, I'll be like, yeah, I can tell you painted your lawn, but like 99% of people are going to be like, wow, your lawn looks pretty awesome. Nice job on the overseed, which is like mission accomplished, right? Without doing the overseed. So it looks cool, man. Keep it up. Definitely let me know how it works out. All right, and next up we got Jeremy Espinoza. He says, how low do you have to scalp to dethatch the lawn? I have Bermuda and I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. Great question. That's actually one of the topics I was going to talk about tonight, Jeremy, is on the topic of scalping. As far as how much you need to scalp to dethatch, you don't, I mean, the two are, it's not like you must scalp the lawn to dethatch it. Like you can have the lawn at the height that you're going to maintain it at and dethatch it. You will, you're saving yourself some work by having it lower, having less material for the dethatcher to pull through. So if you're planning on scalping it anyway, then do that. Get the material out and then dethatch it afterwards. That's the order I would do it in. But it's not like you must scalp before you dethatch, if that makes sense. Yeah, but that's a great question. I'm actually starting to plan my pre-scalp for next month, probably the middle of next month. I'm going to get out there and do my pre-scalp. We'll see, depending on how temps hold up. It's supposed to be the 20s next week, so probably not next week, but the week after, maybe like the middle of February is when I can consider the pre-scalp, not the full scalp, the pre-scalp. I've not taken it all the way down to the dirt, so I'm debating this year. We're trying a little something different. You know what I mean? Normally I just take it down a little bit below my height of cut, so I want to maintain the lawn at 3/4 of an inch this year. So really, 1/2 an inch is all I would really need. But I'm debating on with going a little bit more, a little more aggressive. Not necessarily scorched earth, but taking it down a little bit lower. We'll see. We'll see when I get into it. I'm sure when I make a couple of passes and every 2 passes I'm having to empty the basket out, I'll change my mind on it. But yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question, Jeremy. You don't necessarily have to scalp to dethatch, but what I would say is once you determine your scalping height, do that first and dethatch afterwards. That's the order that I would do that in. Great question. All right. Next up, we got Rob Schott in the house. He says, weed-free spring. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Ric Flair. Whoa. Okay. All right. But yeah, man, you think you already saw what I was talking about earlier, Rob. I'm really trying to emphasize the importance of pre-emergent. We're still early enough, obviously, to get that done. And on the topic of pre-emergent, the one thing I didn't tell you guys is if you're trying to be super scientific, right? Like say you're like a serious lawn nerd and you don't want to do like, late February, early March. You say, I want to be precise. I want to know exactly when. So you can there's several apps you can get on online that will tell you what the average soil temps are in your area. Really, for pre-emergent, in the spring, you want to get it down before, not when they're already there, but before soil temps are consistently in the mid 50s. So you can use, the apps. That's probably an easier way. If you're a super lawn care nerd, you just can't help yourself. You want to get out in the lawn. You just want to be like, you know what? I got nothing else to do. I can't mow my grass yet. You can pick up one of these bad boys. They're not expensive, like $15 or so on Amazon. It's a soil thermometer. It's called a soil thermometer, but it's just a digital thermometer. I think like a meat thermometer would probably work just as well. But you get one of these guys, and this will tell you what your soil temps are. You want to make sure you get it down and 2 inches or so beneath the surface, about like that. Just make sure you're consistent, and that'll tell you. At 50 to 55 degrees, average soil temps is when you want to. I mean, if you want to get your pre-emergent down before then. So I tend to err on the side of early because I don't want to have weeds in my lawn. So something else to think about. Very, very cool. Tyler, dude, you are like my new favorite fan, man. Like I've been I have to tell you, like I've been spending more time the last week, like answering all your questions in chat because you've been binging on the content. I appreciate it. And now you're in the live stream, which is even more awesome, right? Tyler says, hey, I'm loving your videos. I've learned a ton about those pesky warm season lawn. Okay, first of all, see, man, look, it's the first time you come into the live stream, you're gonna call our lawns pesky. Is that nice? Is that how you just make introductions? You the kind of person that comes in, just kicks people's furniture over when you come in? I mean, how are you gonna call warm season lawns pesky? I think you meant to say are amazing warm season lawns. The warm season lawns you guys envy. I think that's what you're trying to say. All right, I digress. He says, warm season lawns and grasses / weeds in my area. Weeds in my area. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's always cool to talk to people that are, especially that are like lawn care pros. I think you're like you spray lawns, you're a turf care professional. So it's always nice to interact with those with your type in the comments. I mean, granted, I can't believe you're calling our grass weeds, but hey, been called worse. Been called worse. Awesome to see you in the chat, man. I really appreciate you coming to hang out. All right, Lance F is in the house. He says, yeah, buddy, it's Friday. Let's talk about grass. Ron, my man, what's going on? What's going on, man? It's a little bit cold, a little bit cool tonight. It's got my hoodie on, so I don't burn the rest of the house on inside by turning the temp up crazy, because I can't really move, while I'm in here. So I got to make sure I'm warm. But yeah, it's a great Friday. It's cold. It's cold. I think it's supposed to get in the 20s tomorrow, I believe. And then next week, we're supposed to have several days where the low is in the 20s. So it's definitely Mother Nature's trying to keep spring away a little bit longer than I would like. But what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? At least I don't have to get up there and mow the grass right now, right? So there is that. Harper Explorers says, what's up? Not too much, Harper. I think you're brand new. So are you a sneakerhead? You can show you're holding up some kicks there. So thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Always fun to have you in the chat. All right, next we got John Gotch. John, you're back, man. It's been a minute. He says, it's been a long time. Great to join again from Louisiana. Every time I think about Louisiana, I think about crawfish etouffee. That is like my one, I don't, believe it or not, here's the thing, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, but even though I'm from the Caribbean, I really don't like seafood. But I do like, or any water type food, but I do like crawfish. I like crawfish etouffee. That is pretty good. Although I've tried tilapia lately and I'm starting to come around. So we'll see. There's still hope for me yet. All right, Papa Mo's Lowe's in the house. What's going on, sir? He says, hey, Ron, can't watch tonight, so I just dropped by to touch the like button ever so gently. See you next week. And on that note, guys, Papa Mo's Lowe's, thanks for coming to hang out, first of all. Appreciate you. But if you guys wouldn't mind touching that like button ever so gently, it's a free way for you to support the channel. You don't have to jam the channel membership. You don't have to, you have to go on the store and buy anything. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is move the mouse over and tap the like button. We got we got 81 people in here now. We can get the like button going. It gives me a chance to sip my lemonade while you guys do that. I would really, really appreciate it. And we're back. All right, Tom V is here. He says, hey, y'all, it was 15 degrees Fahrenheit this week, and the FedEx driver delivered my Humic Max order. All right, negative 15, I'm sorry. And I thought Ron said spring was coming. Hey, man, I tried. I think I probably cursed us. I jinxed us. Granted, Tom, I'm not sure where you are where it's negative 15, so your spring's probably going to be a little bit later than the rest of us, but at least you got your fertilizer, your Humic Max, right? And on that note, guys, it's if you know what kind of fertilizer you're gonna be running on your lawn and you can buy it now, I would start getting it now. I would start loading up now, at least enough for the first few months, just so you're, whenever everybody else that's not read in, that's not watching the live stream, that's not watching the YouTube channel, they say, hey, I have a lawn, I need to make it look green. When everyone's running out to Home Depot, you're not gonna be in that craziness. And if you're trying to get your stuff online at the golf course lawn store, where you should be getting your lawn care products, we're not gonna be sold out. So get your stuff down, get that all taken care of now while there's opportunity. On another note, if you guys notice, you guys been talking a lot about the what's the fert from the Yard Mastery. Some of you guys that want the potassium in your potassium in your lawn. If your cell test results say that you need that. So something else we've added in addition to more herbicide is there's now a fertilizer selection. So now you've got the stress blend in here in addition to the triple 12. So if you need a triple 12, you need a full spectrum fert, just kick things off. Then the triple 12 is your go-to. And if you need higher potassium, this is also a good wake up for your lawn in the springtime. We've got that on the golf course lawn store as well. Guys, also something, and here's the thing, I was thinking about waiting on telling you guys this, but you guys will hear about it, and only people that watch the live stream will hear about it. But, for some of you guys that have been asking for carbonized PN, I begged and pleaded with the nice folks at Miramichi Green. They didn't, it honestly didn't take too much twisting. But in addition now, we also have carbonized PN, which is a great option for top dressing mix. If you want to use something you can mix with your sand to create your own top dressing mix that has zero trash in it, like it's half biochar, half compost, and there's absolutely no garbage in it, that's a great option. So that's now available on the golf course lawn store as well. So you got Essential G, granular, you got carbonized PN, which is not granular. Do not try and spread this in a broadcast spreader. It will not work. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go on the main screen now. Listen, do not try and run carbonized PN through a broadcast spreader. It will not work. I've tried it. I've tried it a couple different ways. It won't work. If you have a broadcast spreader, you want Essential G. If you're top dressing, which is why I even put it in the title, this is good for top dressing. This is not good for broadcast spreading use. So you guys now have some options now for that, as far as top dressing, like a really, really rich top dressing mix that you can either you can go all out and just top dress with that. It's going to be a bit more pricey to do it that way, or you can use it in a blend with some sand to introduce an organic component to your top dressing job. If you guys remember my video I did last year on top dressing the entire front lawn with just carbonized PN, if you've not seen that, it's actually pretty cool. I'll actually show you guys. I'll link it in the chat here. That video, I did the entire front lawn last year with just carbonized PN. And the lawn was insanely green. Like, I mean, you would have thought that I put like a crazy iron application on the lawn. That's how green it got as it recovered. It was crazy, crazy green. So I will put that video in the chat for you guys to check that out if you're so inclined. Again, don't do it now. Just save it for later, because right now we're in the live stream. You got to focus. Got to stay on task. So we'll say we'll call it carbonized. Can I type and talk at the same time? Probably not. Carbonized PN top dressing. There we go. That's the video. All right. But we got a couple super chats. Let me go deal with that really quick. I don't want to get hate from people. So first we got one from Tyler. Roll down here. I appreciate you, Tyler. Thanks so much.
Super chat received.
This is awesome content. Thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate it. Keep watching the content and keep answering the questions in the comment section. I'll keep going through it as I can. But I really do appreciate you. And then we got Merrill Williams tonight. It looks like he's going to be our live stream sponsor with this one. Thanks you so much, Merrill.
Super chat received.
It says, happy Friday, Ron and everyone. Ron, can you reach out to Miramichi Green about adding their carbonized PN to the golf course lawn store? Done. It's done. It's done. And here's the thing. I wasn't like reading your mind, but it's done. It's there now. I just showed you. Like, you go there right now. Go to golfcourselawn.store. Go over. Here's the thing, guys. I spent some time like reorganizing things and trying to make it easier for you guys to find what you need on there. So, hopefully you guys like the new redesign and the little things that we did to kind of change things up. But it is now available, Merrill. You can get it. You can use it for growing your plants or whatever you want to use it for. Top dressing. Just no broadcast spreader. And he says, my site one is sold out and they're not getting any more in stock. Thanks. Well, now you've got a place where you can get it. You can order it there. It's available right now, today. So right now. Thank you so much, sir. And I need to add you as the show sponsor because of the super chat. So the way this works as far as being the show sponsor, guys, is a little competition. Whoever obviously has the highest super chat of the evening gets the honor, or I guess you can consider the honor of being the sponsor for tonight. So first we had Tyler. Tyler was first, but Tyler, you're quickly dethroned by Merrill. But there you go, Merrill. Go to the golf course lawn store, and the carbonized PN awaits you, sir. I appreciate the generous super chat. Thanks so much, Tyler. I appreciate the super chat as well. I appreciate all the support, guys. It really, really, really does help. All right. Oh, we got one more. Let me make sure I get Austin while I'm down here. Austin, thank you much for the super chat, sir.
Super chat received.
Because the celebration Bermuda is finally dormant here in Central Texas and it's almost ready. It's almost go time again. That's crazy that your celebration held on that long, man. That's really awesome. I'm jealous. We got snow here in Georgia, which absolutely ruined it. We were doing really good. I had a bunch of green going on. Then we got snowfall, and that was the end of my green. That was the end of my green in my lawn. But yeah, it's very cool that you got your celebration and that it is doing well. Finally dormant. But here's the thing, guys. I mean, I know that right now you guys are looking at all those brown lawns. You're thinking, oh man, I can't mow, and the universe hates me and all this stuff. But I mean, really, you're talking about, at least in Georgia, 4 weeks to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks tops before we're going to be out there again. You need to get your pre-emergent down before, closer to the 6 week time frame. But I mean, yeah, it's not going to be that long. So enjoy this time off. You got to get out there soon and get your mow on. So don't think that this little break we're getting is going to last too long. And I agree, Tyler. I agree, sir, that pre-emergent is the bestest. It is the bestest. It is a cheaper way. It is a more efficient and cost-effective way to prevent weeds in your lawn. Prevents you from having to get out there and read the labels and say, oh, can I spray this herbicide now? And when it's summertime, and can I, all these conditions that go along with post-emergent herbicides, so you kill the weeds and not kill your grass. Pre-emergent is pretty simple. As long as this one that's rated for your grass type, get it down before soil temps cross 50 to 55 degrees, good to go. And it's not that hard to do. And if you don't want to do the liquids like what I'm showing you here, like the coastal or just straight Prediamine, you got granular options that are super easy to apply. There's a video I have also on all those products. When you guys scroll down in the product descriptions, I have a video that actually talks about how to apply it. It talks about like measuring it out and calibrating and all that stuff. I got you guys covered. I'm trying to cut down on the customer support. So I thought of everything I could to make it as easy as possible for someone that's brand new to get a good result with applying pre-emergent. It's the bestest, as Tyler says. I couldn't say it better than myself. All right, Heartfelt Fashion is in the house. He says, good evening. Are you guys expecting wintry mix tonight in Georgia? We are getting it 3 weekends straight here in Charlotte. No, we are not. Not that I'm aware of, Heartfelt. It's supposed to get really cold, but I don't think the forecast calls for any precipitation. I don't think we're going to get any weather, any rain in the forecast as well. So hopefully it just stays like that. Last thing we need is icy conditions, right? So there you go. And then Tyler's in, he says, applying it effectively is also important to pre-emergent. That's a good point. Yeah, so using the correct spray nozzle is pretty important. So the backpack sprayers that I've used in the past for doing pre-emergent, the Flow Zone, which is one I've used, and then the Yard Mastery, I've not used. I use that one to do pre-emergent. I use it to do coastal this fall. They both, the Yard Mastery sprayer comes with, I think Brett's in here. He's going to love this. The pressure washing tip, the green tip. And even though it's not really designed for lawn product application, for applying pre-emergent, it actually works fairly well. I've actually used it before, and it's like this we did on Alex's lawn last year, and it works well. However, if you get the Yard Mastery backpack sprayer, which I'm not sure if it's back in stock yet, probably not, but that one comes with an assortment of tips. Comes with one of these guys. I think theirs just white, but it's like it's a air induction tip that produces the larger droplets, because they think about it with foliar apps. So by foliar, we mean that we want the product to get on the grass's leaf, the leaf surface, and stay there. With that, you want a finer, like a mist, you want a finer droplet size. And then for pre-emergent, because that has to get down in the soil to work, you want a larger droplet size. And you can get that by altering the spray tip. So the nice thing with the Yard Mastery sprayer is that it comes with an assortment. You get both of them. So, and again, I don't know if they're back in stock as yet. I can check here really quick. I don't think so, but we can look here real quick, and I can tell you guys. I don't think so. So that way, I want to tell saying, yeah, it's still sold out. They're saying it won't restock until early January to February. So maybe next month, early next month. But yeah, that's, if you're asking me, that's the one to go with. Yep. And let me just put that in there. There you go. So if you guys want to go get on the list or send them email saying, hey, when to get the sprayers in stock, there you go. That's where it is. All right, next up we got Daniel B in the house. Daniel is saying, hello, Ron. I just scheduled aeration and sand leveling for June. Nice. Should I hit it with T-Plex, with Turfplex at a 1608 just before leveling, or a few days later? Okay, so I mean, you're going to do the leveling, the aeration and leveling in June. I would do it as part of the process, Daniel. If you want, you can do it a bit. If you can't do it, then, so it sounds like you said you scheduled it, so it sounds like you're having a service come out and do it. And if they are like, hey, when we're out here, don't come out here, don't mess around, we got stuff to do, heavy equipment in the house. If that's the case, I would do it a bit earlier, so you can get that down. And get that down and get it and allow it to you're gonna jumpstart. You're gonna give the grass some fuel to recover a little bit faster. The best time, or what I would do, if you can talk them into it, or even if you can just supply them with it, because I know most services will put down some type of fertilizer as part of their top dressing process. Most of them do. That you can just supply them with the 1608. So what you can do is, before top dressing, they show up, like mow the lawn, right? And then hit it with the Turfplex like a day or so before, day or two before they show up. Just do the Turfplex with that. And the day when they do come in, after they're done aerating, saying, hey, instead of doing your fertilizer, can you use a 1608? I'm not sure which one you're using. A great one is Humic Max. But yeah, something like this, you can just say, hey, yeah, hand them a bag of this, slide that to them. And I can't imagine why they wouldn't do it, because if you think about it, right? Like, they are It didn't cost them anything. I mean, as long as the stuff spreads properly, you give them an idea what the spreader settings are supposed to be. They're not using products, so they're actually coming out ahead. But I'm not sure if all services will allow you to do that. So it sounds like you're scheduling it. Ask them ahead of time if you're going to supply the FERT. Let them know that it has like spreader settings. Like you could look here, we've got settings for all the commercial ones, Lebanon, the Earthway, Andes, the Lescos, and then also for you Scots guys, it's also on here as well. We got all those on the bag. But yeah, if it were me, Turfplex first. Again, if you don't have control of the whole process, Turfplex first, a couple days before, and then the 1608, the day of, would be ideal. If they're not going to let you do it, then I guess before, do both of them before then too. So hopefully that helps. Let us know how it works out, man. It's pretty cool. Nice, good job on getting your top dressing scheduling done a bit earlier in the season than later. You're not going to be one of these people calling like in March, April trying to get on the calendar. So that's smart. That's smart. All right, Andrew Phillips is saying, I'm planning on using Prediamine in 3 to 4 weeks. That's a good time frame, Andrew. I like to go a little bit earlier. I'll probably be mid-Feb when I get mine done, or I'll probably be doing dithiopyr this late winter, early spring. But yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, depending on where you are in the country, is a good safe time frame. Good safe time frame. All right, next up we have a question here from Tyler. Tyler says, what are the benefits of using pre-emergent in the fall? It's kind of wasted, well, at least here in Virginia. Okay, so further south, we have this nasty weed called Poanua. So also known as, people just call it POA. So if you look at a warm season lawn, like a Bermuda grass lawn during the winter months in Georgia, and you see green throughout it, in most cases that's POA. It looks like grass, but it's like annual bluegrass is what it is. So what we do, we apply a pre-emergent in the fall that will target that to prevent that from even becoming an issue for us. So both Prediamine itself works pretty well as a preventative. Like this will work good as just for preventing. But if you were a little bit late on the application, so let's say you waited until, because I've seen pre-emergent I've seen POA start to come in on lawns in as early as like early September. So if you waited like late, like into October or so, that's when something like Coastal comes in, because this has the post-emergence to kill any POA that has already germinated, has already started growing, and it still has the Prediamine to prevent more growth, to prevent germination of new POA. So for us, the main reason why we do it is to keep POA out of our lawns during the dormant months. So I imagine, I guess what you're telling me is in Virginia, it's not as much of a thing, but in Georgia, it's absolutely. So all the spray services around here, they do pre-emergent twice a year, and once in the spring, once in the fall, and they typically alternate. I've seen Prediamine and dithiopyr. I've also seen Prediamine in the spring. A lot of use Prediamine in the spring, and then Spectacle Flow or something like that in the fall. Those are the ones I most commonly see. So hopefully that helps answer your question. It's a good one. I didn't realize you guys weren't using pre-emergent in the fall in Virginia, but it's definitely a thing here in Georgia. Definitely that. All right, next up is Mark F. He says, please do not forget the advice you gave me to not drop pre-emergent if you are going to add Bermuda seed in the spring. Yes, it's a great point, Mark. I recall you saying it would be like playing a whack-a-mole to keep things even. So yeah, the only time where everything I've said up to now, as far as like pre-emergent goes, you would want to disregard is if you've got a major lawn renovation planned in the springtime. So let's say in this spring you say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna burn down my lawn. I'm gonna like kill my existing grass, and then I'm gonna seed. I'm gonna put down like Bermuda grass seed. You're a glutton for pain, and you decide you want to seed your lawn, right? In that case, pre-emergent is something you really want to avoid in the springtime, because while pre-emergent, the way it works is it interrupts or prevents a plant's ability to grow roots. And that works really well for weeds. And it also works well, unfortunately, for a lot of grass types like Bermuda, right? So if you're planning on doing a full lawn renovation in springtime, pre-emergent is something you're going to want to avoid. Now, here's the thing. You kind of have to pick your poison, right? So I know we want it all. We want like a weed-free lawn, and we want our seeding project to go through and everything. And frankly, you can't really have that, right? If your focus is on a major lawn renovation, and that lawn renovation is going to involve seeding, you're going to want to avoid pre-emergent in the spring. What your treatment plan is going to look like then is you're going to not do spring pre-emergent. You'll do your seeding project whenever your renovation whenever soil temps are ideal for germination for whatever grass type you're trying to go with. And then you're just going to be using post-emergent, so like the more expensive ways of getting rid of weeds after the fact. So a good example, let's say I were going to do a full lawn renovation next year, right? I was going to burn down my lawn. I'm going to do like say Arden-15 over the entire lawn. I was going to nuke what I got, do the entire lawn. I would not do a spring pre-emergent. I would use a non-selective herbicide to whack the entire lawn, to kill the entire Bermuda lawn. And then I would put down my grassy, whatever I'm gonna go with. Whenever I would time killing the lawn around a week or so out from when I expect to be seeding. And then once the new grass seed germinates, it's growing in. It gets somewhat mature to where you can mow it, and it's not like baby grass seed. That's when something like Celsius, again, like you can get it again at the golf course lawn store. I've got like videos on how to apply it, like a post-emergent, like Celsius could be used for spot spraying weeds that you're dealing with in your lawn. Then, but weeds are going to be a thing. If you're planning a lawn renovation project and you're not using pre-emergent, weeds are going to be a thing, and this is par for the course. You can't do both of them if you're trying to get a good result. So hopefully that helps. Good reminder, Mark. I appreciate you, and good luck this spring on the seeding project, man. So it should be a good time. All right, and Jose says he used Endurant grass paint in the backpack sprayer with the fine mist nozzle. Okay, so you did your research. So fine mist nozzle, and that's what you use. Cool stuff. Good to know. Good to know. All right, next up we have Thin Cut in the house. He says, I need to put down some pre-emergent within the next couple of weeks. Hoping for no weeds this season. Here's the thing, Thin Cut. If you use pre-emergent, it's not really a hope. You're not gonna have a huge problem with weeds. I mean, you may have a sparkling, a little, smelling here and there, a tiny amount here and there, but it's not gonna be anything like if you don't do it. So if it's your first time around, and you just want an easy way to go about it, just get the granular Prediamine. Get the granular Prediamine or granular diethiopyr. We got them both, again, at the Golf Course Lawn Store. If you look at the link that's pinned to the top of the chat, they'll take you there. That's an easy way to go. There's a video in there that'll show you how to apply it. And that's going to do a great job for keeping weeds out of your lawn this spring. That's what I would do if you don't have a backpack sprayer or you're not comfortable mixing in the chemicals and spraying. It's not hard, but you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention when you're doing it if you're going the liquid route. But yeah, it's not really much hope. If you use pre-emergent properly, you're not going to have a lot of weeds in your lawn in the spring and summer. So very, very cool. All right, we have the troublemaker, the man himself, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brett Grasscapade says, hello, gentlemen. What's going on, Brett? How you doing, man? How's life down in sunny Florida? I'm sure you guys aren't suffering in the 20-degree temps like we are here up in Georgia. You guys are probably out fishing and just all kinds of fun, showing the rest of the nation what fun life is really like, right? But yeah, thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Really appreciate you as always. Hopefully you're doing well. I got to get down to come see you guys. That's one of my goals for this spring is to get down to come visit you and Alan. So it should be. I got to make it happen. Got to make it happen this year. All right, next up we got Shelby Amos. He says, "What's up, Ron? I keep going in the garage and just staring at all of what I'm going to throw down this season. He says this season." Off season is an emotional roller coaster. It is. If you're loaded up on all your products, you're good to go on what you're going to do. You're just kind of waiting. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to do right now. I mean, what can you do in the off season? You can get a soil test done. That's something you can do. You can get that done. You can apply like a granular a biostimulant, something like Essential G. So if you absolutely just got to do something, you can help yourself, and it's like an investment in making your lawn better in the springtime. You can do something like this. I've been doing this monthly on my lawn since summer 2020, and I'm covering up what I'm trying to show you here. So Essential G, this guy here, this you can apply on your lawn now. As long as the only rule for Essential G is as long as the ground is not frozen. So if the lawn is frozen, the ground's frozen, you can't apply it, but you really can't apply anything. You shouldn't apply anything, I should say. This is a great product. You got compost, biochar, some coffee grounds, a bit of silica, a bit of humate, but all the good stuff. And this will go down in a spreader without issues. So if you're looking for something to do that is going to materially have a positive effect on your lawn, it's like an investment in the quality of your soil. I can't say enough good things about Essential G. And then also the next thing you can do is a soil test. So, the ones that I like are the ones from the nice folks at My Soil. as on the topic of soil testing, is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about tonight. I did a soil test like I told you guys I would do last Saturday. This Friday morning, I got the nice email saying, "Hey, Ron, we're going to show you all the things that are broken in your dirt. So, like, you brace yourself. You guys want to see my soil test results? Is it going to bore you guys too much? Like, show you guys why they're cool and why it's something you should absolutely do. And so I can load it up here, so I can do it live. Live demos are always the thing that always scares me, because every time I think back to like my pen testing days, when you do like a demo on stage and you're doing it live, like you're doing like an exploit executing, and it's like it always fails. It never crashes when you're sitting here doing it at home, but you got like hundreds of people watching. That's when it's going to happen. But fair enough. It's like it's not going to happen tonight. We're good to go. So this is the portal that you get whenever you get your soil test kit. Why am I blocking everything with my face? There we go. And if you see, I've been testing my soil every quarter just because I like having the data. You don't have to do that. And if we come over here to the second page, let's do a comparison. So you can see like what I had over the summer, the fall, and then Ron Henry winter. So summer, fall, winter of my soil samples. So if you take a look here, what I've got, I can actually take you away here, Shelby, real quick. You can see that as I got into the fall months and I began backing off on the rates on my applications, that's reflected in the amount of nitrogen you're seeing in the soil here. Phosphorus, for the most part, stays the same because phosphorus doesn't leave the soil nearly as quickly as nitrogen and potassium do. So you can see that's reflected in the soil test results. Again, the light blue, like this one's here, these guys, these are my most current ones. Same thing, my sulfur's been trending down, so I may need to get some gypsum down at some point. We'll see. Calcium looks okay, but overall you can see their net result, which is reflective of what I've been doing in my lawn as far as applications. Like I did in the fall, early fall, I did a lime application, and if we go back here, you can see that reflected in the soil test results. So this is my summer soil test, right? And then there was one. Shows my fall one, and then you see the results, the boost in pH that came from that. So it's really cool data. I mean, it's again, doing it quarterly is probably overkill, but at least once a year, the start of the season, is a good thing to do. So this is something else you can do this time of year that makes a whole lot of sense. And, it answers the age-old question. I get it all the time. Ron, what fertilizer should I apply on my lawn? I really need to know. And I'll tell you, I'm going to say Humic Max. That would be a good one if you're just going to guess. But really, a soil test is going to tell you exactly what you need to apply. So, and as you saw, the ones from my soil are super, super easy to interpret, to view. Actually, I can show you guys what an actual result looks like. So if I go back here, technology don't fail me now. All right, so if I go back here and I actually just look at the soil test like that, boom, you can see what it looks like. Super easy, and they're really, really easy to understand and read through. So you've got like the graphic here showing you how all your levels are, and then each of the nutrients and other parameters that you care about are all broken out. And then you also get a recommendation down here as far as what you can use to fix it. Again, this is reflective of what I expected to see on my lawn based on the fact that I really started backing off the nutrient inputs in as soon as fall arrived, mainly because I wanted to not have a bunch of nitrogen in the lawn to try and prevent issues with spring dead spot. And as you can see right now, my lawn doesn't have very much nitrogen, right? It's on the low side, but that's one of the easiest, one of the fastest macros to replenish. So hopefully, like, it's cool because it shows my plan has worked, right? As far as like keeping my inputs down, and we'll see if it works out where I don't end up with any spring dead spot this spring, right? So I did everything I think I can do to prevent that. Fungicide and kept nitrogen low, so we'll see. But yeah, if you want something else to do, Shelby, while you're jonesing to put all your fert and everything else down, get a soil test done. The one I like is from my soil. As you guys saw, the data is really easy to interpret and understand. You can get those at the golf course lawn store. And then put down some Essential G. And that's all I got for you, man. That's all I can. That's the best I can do. It's the best I can do as far as things to do in the winter months, in the off season. So there you go. All right, next up, Fairway Bermuda is in the house. What's going on, Fairway Bermuda? Says, hey, Ron, what's up? Looking like an early pre-emergent dithiopyr I'll be using. Weeds showing up. Yeah, man. So if you already got, if weeds are showing up, and if their weeds are not crabgrass, which I can't imagine you got crabgrass this early, but if they are, if what you got is not crabgrass, dithiopyr is not going to do a whole lot against the ones that are already here, they've already germinated, you might want to look at something like Coastal, Daryl, because I know you got a Bermuda lawn, so maybe something like this. This might be a better, it is a better option if you got weeds you're trying to take care of. But I mean, yeah, Dithiopyr is great as well. But I don't want you to go apply that thinking that's going to kill the weeds that you have in your lawn, like a combination product like Coastal will do. And again, I already put it in the chat, but for those of you guys that weren't here or just joined late, if you joined late, why did you join late? But there you go, Daryl. It's in the chat in case you decide to go that route. But yeah, it's smart. I tell you, man, last year we did Alex's lawn about a week or two from. I was like a week. We're within a couple of weeks when we did his lawn last year. Mainly because I just wanted to test it. It was definitely a bit on the early side for applying pre-emergent, but I want to test it and see, hey, if we do pre-emergent full rate of Prediamine earlier in the season, what's going to happen? Like, do you really have to do split apps to get a good result? Or if you do a full rate application, even earlier in the season, will that carry you throughout the growing season? And in the case of his lawn, again, sample of 1, it worked great. It worked really well. But again, it's I wouldn't say necessarily only sample of 1, because in the years past, when he didn't do pre-emergent, he had all kinds of weed issues. So it's not like it didn't work. But just to say that earlier is better. And if you're looking at mid-February, which looks like you're going to be doing, I imagine, I think we'll be talking back and forth. That's a good option, especially where you are in the country. So. Cool deal, man. Sorry dealing with weeds, but we can get rid of them. There's always options for getting rid of them. So good stuff. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. And again, anyone that is looking for some cool Bermuda content that Fairway Bermuda is going to be posting this season, definitely give his channel a like and subscribe, because I know he's just getting started. He could use the support. All right. Thin Cut says, good evening, everyone. Don't forget to touch the like button. Thank you for passing on your knowledge, Ron. I appreciate that, Thin Cut. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Shelby Amos says, going through down to pre-emergent here in Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow. So we're in Fort Worth. I'm not trying to. Where are you guys as far as us? I guess if you're not gonna get much more freezing weather here soon, then yeah, I mean, get it down. Again, pre-emergent. Saying that you have to wait until like right when soil temps get to 55 degrees to do it. I just don't get that, man. A little bit earlier is better than late. Like late causes problems when it comes to pre-emergent. Late causes like weed problem. Like, you're gonna have some germination. It's from weeds. You're gonna have issues. So doing it a bit earlier. I'm not saying you need to do it like the first week of February, but like if you know that soil temps like historically in your area get to 50 to 55 degrees mid-March, like doing your pre-emergent like the last week of February. It's not a bad idea. That way you're ahead of the game. You're giving it a chance to get down in the soil, get that vapor barrier going, and it's going to keep the weeds out. So a little bit earlier with pre-emergent is always better than a bit late. Always better than a bit late. All right. Dwayne James is saying, didn't get a chance to put nothing down. I'm in New York. What's best for my tall fescue grass? Well, for pre-emergent, you can use Prediamine. Dwayne. So what I was showing you here, either in the large tub, depending on how big your lawn is, the small 5-ounce container, depending on how big your lawn is, or if you want the easy button, which most people want the easy button, just get it in granular. So I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. If I come over here, so the granular looks like this. This is a good option for your cool season grass if you're just wanting to apply something that's going to be a bit easier. If you're going to do this, I wouldn't do it just quite yet. I'd give it, you said you are in New York, so you still got snow and all this kind of stuff on the ground, so definitely not now. But once it looks like that's gone, you're not going to get any more snow no more, the ground's not going to be frozen, and you're getting closer to March, Marchish, that is when I would look into doing this. So load up on it now. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to go bad. But wait a little bit closer to the start of your growing season to put this down. You don't want to be putting this down on a frozen lawn. That's the easier way to go. So just depends on your option. Now, if you are asking what you can do to treat weeds, Tenacity is a good product. I don't know how well it would work this time of year. It's most people that use Tenacity use it during the growing season whenever temps are a little bit warmer. I don't know where in New York. It doesn't matter where you are in New York. Everywhere's cold in New York right now. It doesn't matter. So I don't know that I would use that now. But if you want a good post-emergent a post-emergent herbicide that is very effective on cool season grass, tenacity, or mesotrione. Actually, again, we've got that here as well. Is a good option. So you can get the name brand, or you can just come here to Golf Course Lawn Store and grab this, the Meso Select, that guy. That's going to be, it's the same active ingredient, and you're going to save yourself some coins. So that is what you can go with on a cool season lawn for getting rid of weeds. So hopefully that helps. I got you covered on pre-emergent and on post-emergent. Very, very good stuff. All right, next up we have Tyler. He's back. He says, if you break up the soil layer with aeration or tilling up bald spots before you seed, you can still get it to grow because that breaks the pre-emergent layer. Yeah, that is true. It is true, but I mean, if you're going to till, I mean, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of tilling the entire lawn, but even with doing that, you will get better results if you don't do pre-emergent at all. Because the thing you have to look at it, right? Like the process of establishing a new lawn, doing a lawn renovation, like the seed, especially these days, grass seed is crazy expensive. And then all the prep work that's got to go into it. And then the watering, especially if you're doing like a warm season grass, like Bermuda, like you got to water it for several weeks to make sure you get good germination. Like the water, honestly, in most cases costs as much or more than the seed. So yes, there are things you can do to disturb the barrier, but I am not sold that that's really going to be enough, Tyler, to allow you to get good germination. Here's why. Because one thing you often hear people say is, if I put pre-emergent on my lawn and then I go out and I aerate my lawn, I'm going to get weeds all over the place, right? I haven't found that to be true in my case. Like I've aerated my lawn every year, and every year other than last year, it's had pre-emergent in the spring. So I aerate my lawn sometimes twice in a season, and I don't have a bunch of weeds or problems with it in my lawn. In other words, aerating the lawn or creating voids in the lawn isn't messing up the vapor barrier that much that it's allowing weeds to run rampant. So I say all that to say that tilling might do it, but like doing an aeration is probably not going to be enough to prevent pre-emergent from negatively impacting your germination. So I would just stay away from it, especially given the costs of everything that's involved in doing a renovation. I don't think it's worth the risk to me. But it's up to you guys whether you want to do that or not. All right, next up we got Stephen Parker in the house. He says, "Have you tried Poa Constrictor?" I have not. Stephen. I'm not familiar with that one. Is that something that is it rated for residential use? I know the common herbicides that I can think about around this time of year, amazoquin and simazine, are good against Poa. And then during the actual growing season, like when temps are a little bit warmer, you could use Certainty or Sedgehammer. Well, not Sedgehammer, but you can use Certainty. Certainty's really good. Certainty's I actually like Certainty better than Sedgehammer, but Certainty's really, really good against Poa as well too. But Poa Constrictor, not heard of that one, so I'm not sure. No, so answer is I have not tried it because I've got a bunch of other options that I know that work fairly well. And I want to make sure that is also rated for residential turf. It might be, but I've never heard of it until today. So I have to go look it up. Something for me to go research at the end of the show. Thanks for chiming in. All right, next up we got Daniel. Daniel says, "Hey Ron, hope all is well." I'm doing well. I can't complain. Actually, you know what? My whistle's a little bit dry. My throat's a little bit dry, so I think it's time for a sip of my lemonade. Now, while I do that, if you guys wouldn't mind, here's the part where I beg and plead with you guys. Top of every hour, it's going to happen. If you guys wouldn't mind touching that like button ever so gently. I mean, I know it can be a big ass sometimes. You got to move the mouse over there and tap like. I'd really appreciate it. It didn't cost you anything. It's a great way to support the channel. You don't have to you don't have to join the channel membership. It's a free way to support the channel. It does great things for the algorithm, and it gives me a chance to sip my lemonade while you guys do that. And look for the next comment to go through. All right, Tyler is up with our next question, where he says, "How important is it to put down pre-emergent before the soil temp rises? Or in your area, what soil temp do you want to get it down before?" So 50 to 55 degrees, Tyler. It is important because like it's in the name, right? Pre-emergent, like it only really, or most of them really only work like if you get them down and they get them in the soil prior to the weeds emerging. And most weeds in our area most areas too, begin germinating around 50 to 55 degrees, right? That's when they start to wake up and make a mess of our lawns. So getting it down prior to that is generally considered good practice when it comes to pre-emergent apps. 50 to 55 degrees is what you need, is just the time to do it. It's probably not only here. I would imagine in Virginia, you guys would do it then too. And yeah, I must be way behind in comments because guys are still talking about cleaning out the backpack sprayer. It says, yep, rinse out the vessel 3 times immediately after use. Yep, that's what I do. And you're good to go. Next up, we got Donnell Burrell in the house. He says, what's up, Ron? Academy in the house. What's up? What's going on, Donnell? He says, I have found over the years, if you stay on top of the weed control, you don't have to put down a lot of pre-emergent on your lawn. You can always pull weeds out by hand. That's a good point too, Donnell. That is a good point. I will say this, that in previous years, other than last spring, I've had pre-emergent on my lawn every spring and fall, right? Last spring, I did get some weeds in the lawn. I got more crabgrass that I normally have, but it wasn't crazy. It wasn't like the lawn just took off and became one big, hot mess because I didn't put pre-emergent down. But so to your point, if you have used pre-emergent regularly, and also you have very good mowing practices, if you're mowing your lawn a lot to where just culturally you're making the turf dense to where weeds have a hard time even competing, you're right. You can get by with a little bit less, but I would still, just to be safe for most people, I would still err on doing it twice per year. Once in the spring, once in the fall. That's gonna work well for most people. That's gonna work well for most people. And to your point, yeah, I mean, the little bit of weeds that you get, you can pull them out by hand. I mean, you think about it. When was the last time you guys saw me actually do a bunch of content on using the pro level herbicides like Celsius, Certainty, and that kind of stuff? It wasn't until last year, because it wasn't until last year that I really needed that, right? So yeah, just using pre-emergent and coupled with good mowing practices does a lot for keeping keeping weeds out of your lawn. So there you go. But I do agree with you that if you can minimize the use of herbicides, always better. And pre-emergent's a good balance, in my opinion, right? It's 2 applications per season, and you should be good to go. Great point. Appreciate it. I always like to see Academy members chiming in, man. It's always fun stuff. All right, Andrew Phillips says, Ron, what other tip for my backpack sprayer besides the white tip would you recommend? I have the Chapin backpack sprayer. I am glad you asked. That is an excellent question. And you know what? I have the answer for you in a video. So if you look here, well, you can't look, you can't see my screen right now, but I will put a link here to a video that I did on this topic, only about sprayer tips, like a $15 upgrade that can change your life as far as getting more out of any products when you're using your backpack sprayer. So check this video out, Andrew Phillips. In that video, in the links in the description, you're going to have the links to all the sprayer tips that I recommend. All of them are going to be in there, and it talks about how to do calibration and sprayer selection and all that fun stuff. So good stuff. Hopefully that helps. And let me know if you need anything else. Actually, that was the video on sprayer tips, and then this is the video on calibration. So let me give you that one too. So calibration. Please excuse spelling errors. I'm trying to type really fast and get back to the show. But yeah, you should be good to go between those 2 videos that I just posted there. And I have the Chapin as well. The spray tips that you see in that video, they will go right on your Chapin. You don't need any kind of adapter or anything. So I cover that in the video, but just so you know, you don't need to do anything special. You can just go ahead and just do that. They'll screw right in. Just remove your old one, put the tip you need for the product you're applying on the wand, and you are good to go. All right, Donna Hale says, any preference between Carbon Pro G and carbonized PN? Okay, yeah, so they're different products. So let me kind of go through that with you really quick here, Donna. So carbonized PN, wrong thing here. Carbonized PN is it's not a granular. It's when you open the bag, it's going to look like the cleanest, darkest, richest topsoil, it's compost biochar blend you've ever seen in your life. Its stuff is like crazy super dark. So it's not really designed to be used out of a broadcast spreader. So it's more like for top dressing. If you grow plants, like if you want a really good potting mix, it's excellent for that. If you're gonna say you're putting in a new tree, like a new shrub or something, and you want to give it a head start, putting some carbonized PN in like as part of, prior to putting the plant in, is going to help you out as well. So it's gonna help with that. But it's different. They're different products. The makeup of them, like the effect they have, is similar, but the composition and how they're applied is completely different. So carbonized, actually, you know what? Let me go here and I can actually show you both of them on the screen at the same time. So Essential G, this has got compost, biochar, humates, some silica, and what else? I'm missing one thing, and coffee grounds in it, right? So that is like your comparison to Carbon Pro G. That is like the new version of Carbon Pro G, right? So that's April. It can go down in a spreader, no issues whatsoever. Carbonized PN, this is, and I actually have some shots here in the description here. I think I do. Yeah, so carbonized PN, we go here. If you look in right here, you can see what it looks like. You see how it looks like it's dirt. It's actual like you can't, that will not go down. That will not spread in your compost, in your broadcast spread. Like if you have a Scots or an Earthway, this stuff will not go through that. It's really designed for top dressing, and I show that in the description. I got a video actually here showing you how to top dress your lawn using it. Whereas carbonized PN, if you look for that one in the video, in that guy shows a comparison between Carbon Pro G and carbonized PN. So if we go down here a little bit and you take a look here, you can see Carbon Pro or carbonized Essential G is a prill. So that will go down in a sprayer and a spreader, no problem whatsoever. So they are different products. The effect they have on the soil is very similar, but they're different. You use them for different things. So again, carbonized PN, that is top dressing, potting new plants. That is potting new plants, top dressing. If you're putting in a new tree or ornamentals, it's good for that. If you're installing new sod, you can do carbonized PN as well. Or Essential G works well for that too. For a sod prep, either one will work well for that. But really, carbonized PN is really more for top dressing or potting plants. Whereas for something you're going to spread over your lawn or broadcast over your lawn, that's where Essential G, which is like the new version of Carbon Pro G, that's where that comes in. So hopefully that helps. Again, if you can see the descriptions and videos and everything else, all that stuff's on the Golf Course Lawn Store. Like I put videos in each of the product descriptions to help you guys out with answering those kinds of questions. But yeah, check that out and let me know if I can help with anything else. Great question. It's a really good one. Very, very, very good one. And so as far as preference, I like them both. So I'm top dressing, which as you've seen last year, I top dress with carbonized PN. If I'm just looking to build up the amount of microbial activity in the soil, improve nutrient uptake, and do that over the entire lawn, that's where Essential G comes in. So they serve different purposes, but both produce similar results. So hopefully that helps. All right. And then I'll see Tyler and Andrew are having a conversation. And next up, we got No Name here. It says, has anyone here used Coastal? I have a fair amount of POA after using Image. Yes, I have used it. So here's the thing, No Name, is with Image, you are getting imazaquin, but you're getting it at a lower rate. You have less control over the rate than you do what's in the mix of Coastal. If memory serves me, you apply this at a rate of, I want to say it's just under 1.5 ounces with 1 gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. I got a video on this product. So watch that video. It'll tell you exactly what the rate needs to be, or give you an option for rate. There's differences. You can actually go a little heavier than that if you want. But yeah, I used this on my lawn this past fall, and I have no POA in my lawn at all. So it works very, very well for preventing it, the Prediamine. And then also if there was any that had already started growing in, because if you look at the video, I waited till a little bit later in the season to apply this. And it did great. I don't have any issues with POA on my lawn at all. So to give you an example, like we're going to be using this on Alex's lawn, here in a couple of weeks whenever we do pre-emergent. So yeah. And again, if you want the video for that, if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store and go to the weed killer section, like in the description of, well, actually, no, that's not true because I don't actually have it on the store. I can actually show you the video for it. Let me do that. Let me put that here. I'm thinking about Prediamine, but here, let me give you the video so you can actually see, you actually go search for it to make life easier for you. It is right here. Here we go. Yep. So this was my fall pre-emergent video. And in this one, I talk about using coastal. So at no name, there you go. Look at that video. That talks all about coastal, and I've used it personally, and it's worked well. So hopefully that helps. All right, next up we have Donna says, any word on when the Yard Mastery will have their sprayer back available? Not sure. They're saying late January, early February. So that sounds like anytime soon. So it means like anytime now or early next month is what I would imagine. Haven't heard as yet when they're going to get it back in stock. So sorry I don't have a better answer, but they will, because it's an awesome product. I mean, it's backpack sprayers really fall into two categories. You have like the $100 to $170 price point, right? Which is where your Chapins, the Storms, like the Cyclone, like the first tier of backpack sprayers are. There's nothing wrong with those. And then you move up to the next tier, which is the Yard Mastery and the Flow Zone. Like those are like more the more pro grade as far as the flow rates, the pressures. Construction is, you can get similar construction on some of sprayers in the $170, $180 price range. But as far as flow rates, and then also just being a complete package, like if you have to buy one sprayer for your lawn and never have to worry about buying and going out and trying to source attachments or fittings or anything like that, the Yard Mastery sprayer is the one to get. Like Flow Zone is a good sprayer, but one, it costs more and it doesn't come with all the fittings. So wait for that one. That's what I would do. It's a really good sprayer. I like it. All right, G Free's in the house saying, hey Ron, Shop Action Gang, what's going on? G Free, thanks for coming to hang out, as always. And then Tyler says, I don't know why anyone would paint their lawn personally. I mean, it's something to try. I mean, I have never done it, or I'm afraid of doing it because I've seen it done really, really poorly. And also, I know it's not real, so it would bug me. But here's the thing, I think it looks cool. Like his lawn looks really cool. The pictures he showed, like take a look at this, man. Like this looks like his result looks nothing like what I've seen done around here. I've seen some grass after it puts lawn paint on it, and the grass is literally like that. The grass is literally like what on earth was just done to me, right? When you look at that looks legit. Like if he didn't tell you that was lawn paint, you really wouldn't be able to tell easily. At least when you're driving by, it doesn't stick out like some of the jobs I've seen done. So I get it. I mean, I think it's cool. He actually did a really good job and it came out well. So everyone, different structure, different folks, right? All right, David Polanco is up next. He says, happy Friday or good evening, folks. Thanks for coming to hang out, David. I appreciate you as always. And then Andrew Phillips is back. He says, yeah, Tyler M, I did that once, won't do it again. I have the red fan tip, which is great, and the white tip I'll use for the water dispersible granule Prediamine. Looking at the blue tip one, I'm not sure about the blue tip. So the tip that you can also get, there's a 110 degree red tip. It's like a fan tip that's really good for foliar apps. The 60 degree tip that the Chapin comes with as well works well too, Andrew. So, I mean, you're probably good, to be completely honest. But take a look at that video. In the video, I filmed showing what the droplet size looks like between the two different spray tips. You can decide if you want to invest in it. Again, it's like $15. They're not crazy expensive, but just something for you to consider. Okay, Makua Kane is in the house. He says, hey, Ron, what are your thoughts recommendations on lawn insecticide? I've used GrubX to control moles here in Pacific Northwest, but could use some thoughts. Thanks, Tyler. Great question. So, Tyler, I am a fan of the Syngenta insecticides and fungicides. I've used a product called Caravan G in years past, gotten really good results with it. But last year I switched to Acelepryn, and I gotta tell you, that's a baller insecticide. I really, really like it. So the active ingredient in Acelepryn is called chlorantraniliprole. You can get that in some of the stuff you can buy at Home Depot, but here's the thing. Last season, right, when everyone's lawns were getting destroyed by armyworms, I did a single application of Acelepryn G in mid-March. And I know it was mid-March because I have a video like talking all about it, and I'll put the video up, link it in the chat here for you in a second. But I did a single application in mid-March. I had no issues with grubs in my lawn, no issues with armyworms. Literally, when other lawns around here were getting destroyed by them, I had no issues. Same thing with Alex. Alex's lawn, no issues with armyworms at all last year, and we both used Acelepryn. So it's an excellent product. Caravan G is also good too. That can work well. The thing with Caravan, so as far as that, right? So if we're going to talk like insecticides, the thing with Caravan G is that it's a combination insecticide and a fungicide. So really, from talking to the folks at Syngenta, you get the most bang for your buck with that product if you apply it in the May, early June timeframe. Reason being is if you're using it as a preventative, that is when lawn fungus tends to be a problem in lawns in this area. Like that's like the period of time when we're getting a lot of rain, there's a lot of humidity, temps are starting to go up, and that's when fungus problems, if you're going to have them, tend to be a thing, right? But now, what happens if you're in the case where you've had insect problems in your lawn before? So you may have had grubs in your lawn before, you may have had armyworms, and you just don't want, you want to prevent that from being an issue as best you can. In that case, it makes sense to decouple your fungicide and insecticide applications. So what you could do then, and again, it's what I did last year, is you do a Acelepryn G in the spring. So like mid-March, apply that, water it in, good to go. And then for your preventative in May, June timeframe, switch to something like Heritage or Headway G. Headway G has two active ingredients. It's azoxystrobin and propiconazole, whereas Heritage is just azoxystrobin. So just depends on what you're going to want to go with. Caravan G only has azoxystrobin in it. So either way will work. But if you're asking me, and your budget permits, because what I'm talking about is a little more expensive way of doing it, but it's a more optimized way, because you are getting the insecticide down at the ideal time, and you're doing the preventative fungicide at the ideal time, if that makes sense. So I'll put both of them in the chat here for you if you decide you want to do that. But that is what I did last year, and I had really, really good results with it. So I'll put down Acelepryn and Headway and Heritage. So depending on which way you want to go, any of those should work well. And I'll also link the video for Acelepryn G in the chat here in a second once I find it, because you asked about insecticides, but I gave you a full answer. You asked for one thing, I gave you the full featured reasoning, the why behind it. I could just say March, but because you asked, I wanted to give you all the data to make as good a decision as you can. All right, here you go. So this is the video for Acelepryn G. I'll just do Acel video. There you go. You'll be able to look at that and see that there. So cool. There you go. I think you're good to go, sir. If you have any other questions, sir or ma'am, if you have any questions, let me know, and we will do our best to help you out. Great questions. Good that you're thinking about that already. It's a good thing to have in mind, even though we're a little bit early in the season for that. All right. And then Marshall says, "Who turned on the AC?" Yeah, right. I know, right? Well, I'm trying not to turn the heat on to where I'm burning everyone else in the house up. So I'm just trying to be considerate. And as far as outside, you're right. It's super cold, man. It's super cold. I was thinking that it was going to be cool, but it's not. I think we're going to get warmer temps, but Mother Nature's not cooperating. Rio the Hitman is a question. He says, "Hey, Ron, what do you do for work before you started up your own lawn care company?" So it's not what I used to do. I still do it. So believe it or not, the Golf Course Lawn Academy, so the training, and then also the Golf Course Lawn Store, those things were a way for me to pass on the knowledge that I've learned on how to create golf course grass at home in a very condensed and structured way. So you can watch a lot of my YouTube content, and a lot of, not most of it, but a lot of what's in the academy is in there, but some of the more detailed topics like around micronutrient, soil testing, what each nutrient does and why it's important, and a few other things, other topics are only in the academy. There's also other benefits too, right? You get a discount at the store on Miramichi Green products. You get access to the private Facebook group, so you get more detailed or more personalized mentoring, that kind of thing. But I still do what I do for work, which is information security. So my background is actually information security. What I do professionally for my day job is information security. I try and keep bad guys from doing bad things to networks and cities that we care about. So that is my background, my story in a in a nutshell. So this is not my only job. All I ever do is work. If I'm not working at doing information security, I'm either like writing content or filming videos or whatever. So I don't have very much free time, but it's fun. I like it. I enjoy it. Great question. Appreciate you asking. Next up, we have Killian Worthy says, change that music, Ron, please. Okay, so you don't like the intermission music. So most people thought it was okay, but I mean, I can switch it up. I mean, for next week I can find something different. Lord, we got everybody's a critic, so we'll see, Killian. If you don't like the intermission music, I can see if I can find something that's a little bit more upbeat, but at the same time will appeal to a broad audience. You know what I mean? So there's that. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you for letting me know that you do not approve of the current intermission music selection. So I noted, and I will take it under consideration. Dalvin's in the house. What's going on, Dalvin? Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. I appreciate you. Robert Rainey, what's going on, Robert? Robert, hopefully you're doing well, sir. Hopefully the burrowweed's staying away with all your all the work you did over December. And Joanne, what's going on, Joanne? Joanne Lampron, a good friend of ours, is here in the chat, coming out, supporting the channel, live stream. Appreciate you, Joanne. Thanks for coming to hang out. As always, Timothy, man, I am behind. I got to speed up, guys, right? Timothy Wolf is here. What's going on, Timothy? And next up, Lance F is here. Here's a question about power raking versus thatching. He says, what's your take on power raking versus, I guess, you dethatching? When to use one over the other? I guess, how are they? To me, they are more similar than they are different, Lance. In my opinion, like a power rake is in many ways kind of like a dethatcher. To me, they're one in. They're kind of one in the same. I mean, if you set the power rake up the same way as the dethatcher, as far as you're not like breaking the surface, you're just using it to get like thatch and loose material out. They're very similar in the way they work. I mean, if you ask me the difference between like a dethatcher and a verticutter, like that, like there is more difference in that. Like verticutter, like typically solid blades goes beneath just beneath the surface. But a power rake and dethatcher, they're really similar, really one and the same. You know what I mean? I've seen power rakes often branded or advertised as being used for dethatching, so they're kind of like the same thing. All right, next up we got Lois in the house. She says, hey Ron, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Lois. Hopefully you're doing well. She says, I am so ready for this cold weather to end. The average soil temp today is 37 degrees, and now my phone gives me a daily update. Wow, you are a lawn care nerd. You're seriously making sure you're checking every day. Nope, not yet. Come back tomorrow. Nope, still not yet. Not ready yet. But here's the thing, Lois. This cold weather is going to be gone sooner than you know it. I'm going to say in most parts of the country, 6 weeks from now, we're going to be getting to the point where we can start getting out there, mowing, getting things ready. And then you're going to wish for, times where you could just sit back and relax and not have to be out in the lawn. So enjoy it. Enjoy the time off. You only got another 4 to 6 week vacation or so. All right. Next up, we got Troy Ridley in the house. He says, hi, Ron. My height of cut has been 2 inches because the ground has been uneven. Can I cut Bermuda to 1 inch after freeze next week? Also, how does 1/2 inch to 1 inch height of cut survive the winters? Central Texas, Bermuda. Great questions. Good stuff. Okay. Can you cut Bermuda down to 1 inch after freeze next week? Yeah, you should be able to with no issue. I can tell you what I've done on my lawn. I don't know. Well, let me qualify that. I don't know how cold the temps get where you are, Troy, and how long they stay that way. Here in Georgia, we tend to have relatively milder winters. So we have like 3-4 days, right, where temps are in the 30s, maybe a drip into the 20s here now and then. But it doesn't get super, super cold for extended periods of time. Last year, I maintained the lawn at 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 going into dormancy. I didn't let it grow any taller than that. And there were no issues in the lawn when springtime rolled around. So it did that just fine. So at 1 inch is, if you want to take 1 inch down to 3/4 of an inch, you could. But yeah, I mean, in my case, 3/4 of an inch was no problem as far as that goes. Now you're asking about going down to 1/2 inch. I've never tested that. I've never gone down, again, we're only talking about 1/4 of an inch, but I've never taken it down to 1/4 to 1/2 inch. To be able to say what would happen if you have any permanent damage to the Bermuda by doing that. I kind of doubt it. Like, Bermuda is really, really hard to kill, really hard to permanently damage, even when you want to kill it. But I guess the one question I would ask is, Like why? Let's think about this. You could, even if you could go from 1 inch to half an inch, like what are you really gaining by being that short over the winter months? You know what I mean? Like I could see if you were maybe if your plan was to maintain the lawn at half an inch and you want to go a little bit shorter, you could scalp it like to 3/4, so you have less to take off. But at this point in the game, I don't really see I don't see a huge benefit by taking off half the material right now. Like if you want to, if your goal is to say next season I want to mow it like half an inch, what you could do is this. You could, in the next couple of weeks or so, after you get your last hard freeze you think you're gonna have, you could do your pre-scalp, which is I'm a fan of doing. Do a pre-scalp, maybe go from like 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch, take 1/4 of an inch off. And then when March timeframe comes around and we're definitely all the way out of any long-term freezing temps, then you can take your real high to cut reset. You can really take it down to whatever high to cut you want to go to. Do your real scalp then, and then it's like you're doing the best of both worlds, right? You're minimizing the chance of damage from winter, from excessively cold temps. And you're also not creating a nightmare for yourself in the springtime by having to get rid of half an inch of material all in one go. So that is what I would do if I were you. If you're asking what I would do, that's how I would go about it. In my case, I'll likely do the same thing. I'll likely do a pre-scalp here in the next few weeks. And then in March, even though I'm only going to cut the lawn at 3/4 of an inch this year, I might take it down under half an inch just to really clean things up. We'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I might do that. But I'm gonna save the hardcore scalp for when temps are consistently warmer than they are now. So hopefully that helps. Great question, and hopefully that helps out. Tyler says, what app does that? I want to say the Yard Mastery app does. I think the Yard Mastery app will do that, Tyler. So give that a look if you're looking for an app that has a lot of really cool features in it. All right, Jay Johnson says, get those likes up, fellas. Yeah, if you guys can, if you're new to the live stream or just joined in since the last solicitation for likes, now would be a great time to touch the like button ever so gently while I play the intermittent music for a short period of time. And not make Killian too mad. Yes, but if you guys would mind giving me a like, I'd really appreciate it. If you've not done so already, it's a great way to support the channel. All right, Robert Rainey says, receive the new reel mower today. Uh-oh, gotta clap it up. Where is my clap? Yep. Gotta clap it up. He says, I sent an email, Ron. See who can guess what it is. Oh man, Robert, you're making this hard for me. Can I find your email now? Can I find your email now? Well, you said it's a reel mower. Oh, you said you got a new tool today. If anyone can guess what it is. I think most people are gonna be able to. But I'll post it. Yeah, see if anyone can guess the tools. What is this tool? Most of you guys are probably going to get this. This is a pretty savvy bunch. Actually, you know what? Robert? I'm going to use that as a giveaway question. So we'll do that. So Robert got a tool in, and the first person that can answer what the tool is will win a soil test kit from My Soil tonight. That will be the giveaway, but I'm not gonna do it now because we're not gonna do the giveaway just yet. But thank you, Robert. You gave me some content for the giveaway. So if anyone can figure out what the tool is, I'm gonna show here. You have to know what it is. Then you can win yourself a soil test kit. Whoever gets it first correct answer wins. Congrats, sir. Nice, and I like it. I like what you got there. It's looking good. All right, and then Brett Jones is in the house here. Oh, Brett. He says, what is the best grass to grow in shady, damp areas? None. Brett's a good buddy of mine, so he's just trying to harass me. I keep telling him, I tell him what I tell you guys all the time, which is grass does not like to grow in damp, shady areas where there's no sunlight. He's got a bunch of trees. I'm like, listen, man, if you want the grass to grow, we got to cut. If you want grass there, you got to cut some of these trees down. If you don't want to cut the trees down, you can extend the patio or put some rocks down, some gravel, nice little treatment or something, some kind of, lawn decoration, something like that. But grass needs sunlight. So I don't have a better answer for you, Brett. You already knew this because we've been back and forth on this already. And I know you want to try Zoysia. You can, but I think you're going to be disappointed. And I honestly wouldn't because it's right next to your Bermuda. It's not going to look right. They look too different. So I'm still going with stones or some kind that looks kind of cool for that area. Next up, we have Dwayne Hopkins in the house. He says, hey, Ron, I hope you're staying warm and safe. I am. I got my hoodie on. I got my golf course line hoodie. See my stripe, my sunlight my Sunlight Soil and Stripe Action hoodie on tonight. Hope you're staying warm in all the bad weather. I am doing my best. Question on pre-emergent. Is there a difference in quality for Dithiopyr from different manufacturers? Spectracide versus Yard Mastery? No, not really. Dithiopyr is Dithiopyr. What you will find differences is the amount of active ingredient in between different manufacturers, but it's the same product. It's the same, it's the same active ingredient. Like that is still the same. It's just concentration rates that will be different. That's one benefit, again, to like liquids. You have more control over what you do, like something like this. You have more control over what you do with the application rates. So for liquids, for Dithiopyr, you'd want to use something like Dimension. I think that's the brand name for Dithiopyr. But yeah, it mainly comes down to rates, is what makes a difference. And if there's anything else, right? So you can get some. So I'll show you a good example. Like if you look at like since you asked about it, if you look at like the Yard Mastery Dithiopyr, which is the one that we carry. So you go here, and then we go to Weed Killer. So with theirs, you notice that theirs is pre-emergent, but it also has a bit of potassium in it. So it's a 007, which is nice for a spring application. It's good. Potassium is good for your lawn. It's good for the overall health of your lawn. If you think about NPKs, it's like nitrogen up, phosphorus down, potassium all around. So it's a great for that purpose. But so that's what you'll see. Some of them will have different concentrations as far as percentage of the active ingredient. I'm showing you Prediamine, but the Dithiopyr is the same thing. This is 007. So some will have different amounts of it, and some of them will have some will have no NPK. Some of them will have NPK, like the Yard Mastery one. This is an excellent choice if you want to go the granular route. But yeah, as far as the differences between manufacturers, it really is, when it comes to pre-emergent anyway, a lot of it is just the amount of active ingredient. So hopefully that helps, Dwayne. And again, if you guys want to go check out herbicides, you got like the granular Prediamine and Dithiopyr and their liquid forms, at least for the Prediamine. In the chat at the top, you'll see a pinned comment that will take you to that collection, the collection of weed control in the golf course lawn store. So try to make it easy for you guys. Great question, Dwayne. All right, Hall of Fame Fashion is up next. Says, if I'm going to overseed this spring, should I use pre-emergent in the spring? No, I would not. It's a bad idea. It's you're working against yourself. Will you get some germination? Yes. Will it be as even or as good as it could be? No. And given that grass seed has gotten more expensive this year, and all the work that goes into it, I just wouldn't. It's not worth it. Like, I mean, you can deal with the weeds after the fact. I would not put keeping weeds out of my lawn ahead of getting good germination in a lawn renovation project. So hopefully that helps. All right, Keith Mullins is in the house. He says, love the content. Thank you so much, Keith. I really do appreciate it. He says, first grub issues last year, looking to prevent this year. I am looking for time, emphasis on time of year or weather conditions to apply my applications. SoCal turf type tall fescue. I would go with a Celiprin. If you're looking for like, again, a excellent option for keeping grubs out of your lawn, for an entire season, a Celiprin's a great choice. The time to apply it is March timeframe. Mid-March is a good time to do that. Make sure you water it in heavily, and that will do the trick. Caravan G can work well, but if you're just looking strictly for an insecticide, a Celiprin G is about as good as you can get. It's really, really good stuff. It's really good stuff. I did a video on it that's already in the chat somewhere if you want to go up there and find it. But there's the link to the product. And if I can find the video super quick, I will also show you that as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. Come on, YouTube search. Do not fail me now. There we go. There it is. All right. So yeah, this video is a Cell G video. There you go. That is the video. Talks all about it. So you got the product and you got the video talking all about it. So you should be good to go. That is what I would use on your lawn. Keith, March timeframe, mid-March is when I would do it. That will have you in good shape. Should keep the grubs away, armyworms. One app in the per season is all you should need. Great question. Tyler says, I didn't realize you were going through all the comments. Sorry for all the density of comments. Yeah, no problem, man. I skip over the ones that are just people talking and you guys having sidebars. There's no worries at all. But yeah, I skip over them. No worries at all. Feel free to chat away. Enjoy yourself. It is a community, right? It's not just me talking. You guys are having fun talking among yourselves too. So enjoy. It's for you guys. All right. Thanks, Adrian. It says, hello, everyone. Fangs up, glasses up, right? I will sip to that. Lemonade. Nice. All right. Next up here, we have a question from Pedge Junk. Says, thoughts on making a decent sized Bermuda grass stand for plugs and going the long haul and plug as a form of renovation. You could do that. I mean, you're kind of getting into the sod factory business, sort of, right? I mean, it is very long term because you figure it's going to take you a while to get the plugs or grow the plugs in whatever area you're going to use them in. And then I imagine you're going to want to get rid of whatever grass you have. Once you get enough plugs, you're going to want to get rid of the grass that you're trying to replace and put all the plugs in. So you could do it, but that's a long way to go, I would almost, instead of doing that yourself, I would almost, if you could find plugs for the grass type that you want, like you can find them in mass and you can just, kill your existing lawn, prepare it and then just plug the entire lawn all in one go. I would lean more towards that than trying to grow the plugs yourself and then using those plugs to renovate the lawn. It's going to take too long. It's going to take way too long. I don't know that you even be able to do that in a season. You might, but you want them to be relatively mature so you can transplant them. They're not going to die off. So I don't know that I would attempt that at home unless you just want to, just for the fun of it, the experience, just to see if you can do it. But as far as efficiency, like I would pay someone for their time, like someone that's already put the time into creating plugs for the grass type that you want. I would do that over trying to do it myself. So just your choice, your call, but I don't think I would go down that route. It's a little bit, I'm pretty patient, but that I don't have that patience for that. So hopefully that helps. Joseph Roberts in the house says, hey, Ron, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Joe. Hopefully you are doing well, sir. Thin Cut says, I've got some Prediamine I put down in the fall. However, I put it down late and have POA, waiting for a day off without other plans to get it down. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do very much for the POA that's already there. That's unfortunately that ship has sailed. So you can use it to prevent problems, more issues going forward. But the POA that's there now, you can either gonna have to pull it out or use Image, which is kind of a slower route, or go with something like this, like Coastal, which has Prediamine in it and will also kill the existing POA that's in your lawn. So just depends on what you're trying to achieve, Thin Cut, and in what time frame. Good question. All right. D-Dom says, Ron, where do you get your Real Mower service? Good. That's a good one. So I get them serviced at two different places. The True Cut is serviced at Keystone Rental in Duluth, Georgia. Dan, I think Dan is like the shop manager there. Really good guy. They'll take care of you. They do great work. So if you have a True Cut, take it there. They can get you parts. They can service them, do everything, sharpen the, do all the real work. So that's where my True Cut goes every year. The Greensmaster goes down to Jerry Pate, which is a lot further south. It's like past the airport. What city they're in? But they're off of 20. They're off of 20. So it's a much more of a hike. That's like an hour for me from where I am to get the mower down there. But they each are the specialists. I mean, or definitely for the Greensmaster for Toro, Jerry Pate is a specialist for that one. So I take it there because it's a nice mower, and I really want to make sure that if I need belts or if I need anything else while I'm there, they've got all the parts. They can tune it up when I get it back. I'm just good to go. And then the True Cut goes to right down here in Duluth. So hopefully that helps. All right, next up we got Dwayne Hopkins. He says, I did a round of Image to kill some POA in the lawn recently. A lot is turning yellow, but still some green. Can it recover and come back to life with out another treatment. So yeah, we did this on Alex's lawn last year, Dwayne, and we did 2 apps. So it tends to take like image, especially if you're using imazaquin at the rate that you get it in the store bought, like from the store. I'm not surprised that it might take more. It'll take in more than 1 app to get rid of it, especially if the image is more of the image, especially if the POA is more mature, meaning it's not like baby POA. It's like some hulked up POA. It's been on a bulk. If the POA's been on a bulk, it's already growing up, it's living its best life, then yeah, it's going to likely take more than 1 application of image to get rid of it. Coastal will likely do a better job than Image will because it's got the same active ingredient that's in Image, the imazaquin, but also has simazine. So you're hitting the POA with 2 different active ingredients to get rid of it a little bit faster, and you have control. You have more control over the rate. So there's that too. So if you started yellowing, you're on the right track. You might just need another app. 1 more app will likely take care of it. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Yep. And then Tyler says, dude, you used to do pen testing. I've been learning to do the same for a while. Funsies. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. It's like best job ever, right? Like all the cool stuff you see on movies, like hackers breaking into networks. Like I used to do that. I used to be that guy. But and I can tell you, it's like hacking is in real life is nothing like what it is in the movies. People you always see people in the movies that the thing that always bugs you the most, right? Is you watch them, they're saying like they're trying to crack a password, and they're like, oh, it's close. I've got like the first character, the third character, the fourth character. It's not the way passwords work. It's like it's an all or I should say this. It's not the way passwords have worked in the last 30 years. Like it's an all or nothing type thing. So it's fun, but it makes like it makes watching movies a lot less like tech movies a lot less fun because you just point out all the things that's absolutely like not correct about it. Probably a lot like how it is for like people that work in healthcare when they watch like healthcare programs. It's probably the same thing. You probably twinge, kind of shake a little bit, saying that's not right. It's not real. All right, the Wind Chariot's in the house. He says it's Friday at Ron's house. What's up, guys? Ron, where's the snacks, bro? I don't have any snacks, man. All I got is my glass of limonada. That's all I got. I got my bourbon up there, but that's going to be later. I can't do that now. Can't drink in live stream. No drinking in live stream, guys. I want to make sure, I do a decent job giving you guys answers. And if I introduce bourbon to the mix, might not be good. So I'm going to stick to lemonade. All right. Tyler asks, what volume did you put down the lime in the fall? I went at 40 pounds per 1,000 square feet. 40 pounds per 1,000. So not crazy heavy rate, but more on the heavier or on the heavier side of what you would want to do on a residential lawn. So 40 pounds per 1,000 is what I went with. Good question. And you saw the results. You saw the response that I got out of it. So I went. So you can see how the pH has been moving around from that. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Peg Junk says clover I think is running roughshod on my lawn that has some Bermuda, the stuff I want. Any plan of attack here in Northern California? You know what? I don't know if Coastal will do POA. I don't know. Let's see here. It will kill clover. Will it kill clover? Let me see if I can check the label here really quick, super quick, and see if I can get an answer for you. Wow, it's actually available for sale in California. That's cool. You're in luck. Let's see if it will if it's labeled for clover. Let's look. It looks like it. Burr clover. Yep, white clover. Yep, it's on there. So you are in luck, Peg Junk. If you are looking for a post-emergent that will kill clover and will also take care of you for your spring pre-emergent, go with this. Go with Coastal. Looks like you can get it. Let me check here. Don't make a liar out of me. I'm pretty sure you can get it in California. No, you guys have a hard time. Nope. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. It says right here, not for sale in California. So I don't know. I don't know if Image will target clover. I'm not sure if imazaquin is the one that's doing it, or it's simazine that's doing it. So look into Image, Peg Junk. Look into that and see if that. I don't want to look at the product. Spend much time looking at labels here, but look onto that and see if it will take care of clover. I can take a quick a quick, actually, so it is the amazaquin. Yeah, so clover is on the label for image, and you should be able to get that at your local, your local big box store. You can find it at like, Home Depot or whatever. And I think I've also, if not, I can show you a picture of it, what it looks like here. But yeah, any of your big box stores or Wally World or any of those should have it. So here, I'll give you a link here to it if you decide you want to get it. So let me see, at Peg Junk. There you go. That's image. That should do the trick against clover as well too, and be safe for your Bermuda. So good question. Sorry you can't get Coastal. It's a really good product, but yeah, this will work as well too. All right, Archie Amos is in the house this evening. Ron, hope you're doing well. I am Archie. Thanks for coming to hang out. Always good to see you. And then Jim Carson says, thanks, Ron. I received my Country Club 1608. And he says, my FedEx driver said, ouch, it is heavy. Hey, listen, man, you got to have some good, good things come in heavy in heavy packages sometimes, Want to make sure you're getting your money's worth. It's only 45-ish pounds, 50 pounds, thereabouts. So it shouldn't be too heavy. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. And then let's see here. Next up, Brett is saying, are you ignoring me? My wife said is trying to comment on YouTube is denying her. Can't blame them. Shady areas. No, I'm not ignoring you. You should be able to comment. I don't know what she's writing, but no, I'm not ignoring. Your comments right here, man. Why would I ignore her? I have to see her at karate. Are you kidding? I don't want to have to deal with her. I'm not ignoring her on purpose. I'm going to do that. All right. Next up, we got Archie. He says, when is a good time to put down the pre-emergent on northwestern South Carolina? So the most correct answer, Archie, is as soil temps, the average soil temps are approaching 50 to 55 degrees. That's when you want to get your pre-emergent down. If you just want a time frame, because northwestern South Carolina, you're similar to me. Late February. If you want to wait later on in the season, later on, like the latest you could wait and still be in the safe zone, like late February, early March is going to be just fine. If you're just the big thing with it, once you put the pre-emergent down, make sure you water it in. It has to get down in the soil to begin working. And as far as options at the chat, at the golf course lawn store. So here, it's hard to do that on this camera angle. There or at the top, at the pinned comment you see there in the chat, you've got a bunch of different options for pre-emergent, assuming you don't already have it, both in granular and liquid. Granular and liquid. But the short answer to your question is late February, early March, but before soil temps will cross 55 degrees consistently. Hopefully that helps her. And good to see you, man. Good to see you. Got to see, the regulars, everyone's coming back, which is nice. Nice to see. All right, Jim Carson says, question, our soil temps in SoCal. My neighbor asked for my help and he needs to reseed his fescue lawn. Can we prep it and reseed it with some peat moss? What temp should we look for? Sure. So I have not used peat moss in my seeding projects, but I've seen a lot of, you look at a lot of the, some of the cool season guys, I think I saw a video where Alan was doing a big seeding project where they use peat moss. So it's a good idea. It's a great way to keep moisture on this in the seed. As far as time frame is when you should do it. Look on the grass seeds bag. It should tell you at what soil temps the grass seed wants for good germination. Is probably going to be in the mid 60s. That's in most cases is what the label will say. So mid 60s is what you're looking for. So whenever your neighbor's soil temps are consistently in the mid 60s or even a little bit warmer, that's when you want to time your seeding project. So hopefully that helps. The only thing with doing it, most people do seeding of lawns or renovations of cool season lawns in the fall, because while you can do it in the spring, it's a lot harder. It's harder to keep it alive, right? When temps get higher in the summertime, it's just more struggle. It's harder to not lose some of the grass. So you could do it in the spring if you want, but just keep that in mind. But the short answer is, on the label, on the bag for the seed, it should tell you what the ideal soil temps are. When your average soil temps are in that area, that's when you would do your renovation. So hopefully that helps. Great question. Good question. I like it. All right. Next up, Monique says, Brett, I told Brett not to ask that question about growing grass in the shade. You've answered 10 times. Nothing grows there if there's no sun. Yeah, I am glad that one of the Joneses is listening when I speak, Monique. I really, really do appreciate that. All right, next up we have Dwayne Overton in the house. Says RGS or Humic 12, which is more beneficial for a cool season lawn? Yes, I've never used either product, but the people that have used it, I have some subscribers that have used it and they like it. I believe Alan uses both of those and his lawn looks great. There's also people that, I mean, other than like YouTubers that use it, they get good results with it. I don't know enough about the products to be able to speak intelligently about what the differences are between them, but I can tell you that people use them and they like the results they get. I just never used them myself to be able to say. I don't think it's an either or thing, Dwayne. You probably could actually end up using both of them because they, I don't believe they do exactly the same thing or work the same way. So hopefully that helps. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you, but rest assured you're going to get good results with either of them. A lot of people use it and they seem to like it. All right. You're very, very welcome. Fairway Bermuda says, thanks for the link to the store. The shop is looking awesome. Man, I put a lot of time in it. Over the past couple of weeks, it's been a lot of late nights working on that, getting like redoing the themes and just making it a little bit more efficient and nicer. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. I'll try to get it nice for you guys for this season. And then Keith has an opinion on the matter. He says there's a bunch of humic in RGS. So at Dwayne, I would say RGS. So if there's humic in RGS and you don't want to do one, there you go. You have someone that knows more about it than I, and they say go with the RGS. So there you go. There you go. Okay, next up we have Wilson Miranda. It says, I am mowing ryegrass in Florida with a cheap reel mower daily at 1 inch. I feel that at higher heights of cut, the grass looks healthier. Should I mow less? Like every 2 days, raise the height of cut. Okay, so you're mowing at 1 inch. Here's the thing I would say, Wilson. So so you're mowing at 1 inch and it's okay, but it looks better at higher heights of cut. I don't know. I mean, how much higher are we talking? I mean, if you're saying at 1 inch doesn't look good, and you go up to what, 1.5 inches, it looks better. Then cut it a little bit taller. A couple things you can try is make sure that your mower, I know you're using a push mower, but make sure that it's sharp. So if you can check it to make sure it's cutting paper, like that's important. With reel mowers, having the equipment sharp really, really is important to getting a good result. So that's thing one, because really 1 inch shouldn't be, like most ryegrass will tolerate 1 inch. That should be well within the acceptable range for ryegrass, but you never know, man. If it looks better at 1.5 inches, mow it at 1.5 inches. Every lawn's different, and if it looks better there, do that. I wouldn't force it unless you just really, really want that lower height of cut. But I would also again suggest that you check to make sure the mower is sharp, because like, if you cut grass with a dull reel mower, like one that is dull, it's not going to look good. I mean, it'll be short, but literally the grass will always have like a hazy or yellowish look because it's not doing a good job cutting it. Alex dealt with that in his lawn last year. We had a period there for a couple of weeks where he was mowing and he's mowing the same. Like when my mower was starting up, his mower was starting up, and he was out there mowing. And he's like, man, I'm not sure what's going on. It just wasn't looking, didn't have that green pop, didn't look as good as it's supposed to look, right? So I said, I don't know, have you checked to make sure that your mower's sharp? And when I tell you that a butter knife was sharper, that was not an exaggeration. Like literally his reel was really, really dull. So it hadn't been sharpened for that season as yet. He literally took it down to the folks at Keystone. They got him all freshened up, brought it back. Literally within a week, the grass looked phenomenal. So you can't discount using sharp equipment to touch your grass. That can cause a lot of problems if your mower is not sharp. So there's something to keep in mind, something to consider. But it's good job, man. I'm glad to hear that you're reel mowing. That's all good. Great stuff. And then Stephen Parker says, yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, I guess it is. And then Kevin, like the music still cracks me up. Well, anything to give you guys a laugh, right? And oh yeah, you're right. Here we go. Here goes the neighborhood. Patrick from Texas is here. No fear. Patrick from Texas is here. What's going on, Patrick? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. Like you're doing, and thank you for being like, you're always, as far as like people in the academy, that's always like talking, always like carrying on conversation, always welcoming the new guys, and just someone that just always has some like really fun comments. I always want to thank you for that, because you're always you're a really great asset to the community. To the Golf Course Lawn Academy. So I'm really glad that, one, you come and hang out in the live stream, but also that you're part of the academy. So great chance to tell you that. And it will live on forever, right? So it'll be on YouTube. Everyone will be able to say, Ron said that Patrick's a good guy, because he is. Okay. Next up we got Fairway Bermuda Lawn saying, hey, what's the best time for aeration? I'm worried about my pre-emergent being disturbed. Your pre-emergent will not, I promise you, you're not creating a cardinal sin by aerating after your pre-emergent. As far as when to do it, really you want to do aeration whenever the lawn is actively growing so it can recover. You know what I mean? I've done it as late. My first aeration, I've done it as late as like mid-April. I've done it in 2018 just to test it out. I did it like the first week of March just to see if there'd be any differences as far as, you know, what would happen. Doing it super early, the grass took a little bit longer to green up, to come out of dormancy, because it does stress it. It's a stress. It's stressful to the turf. So ideally, you want to do it when the grass is actively growing, which for you and me, Fairway, is really April time frame. Whenever the grass is actively growing is when you do it. So yeah. And as far as it causing a big problem with disturbing the pre-emergent, I wouldn't worry about it. Again, other than last year's spring, I have aerated my lawn every year. I haven't had an issue with weeds in my lawn. Again, as long as you are doing all the other stuff right, like if you're keeping up with your mowing, which I know you're mowing. I mean, we know you mow. We know you take care of. We know you handle that, because this is, well, it should load up. Let's see. This is Fairway Bermuda's lawn. So his lawn. We get the mowing part right. That's straight. So as long as you're doing that, you're gonna be fine. Get your pre-emergent down. Do your aeration whenever it's time for it, and don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. No sweat, no worries there. I personally think it's overblown as how much of a negative effect that has, especially for someone like you that is regularly mowing and doing a lot of the things to really make sure you have healthy turf. You're not gonna have the problem that some other people might run into. All right, Lance says he punched the like button ever so gently. I appreciate that, Lance. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. So any of you guys that are just joining the live stream that have not been here the entire time, if you guys want to touch that like button, not hard, but ever so gently, I would really appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. Sends good vibes to the YouTube algorithm and causes more people to come our way and come hang out with us, right? So I would really, really, really appreciate that. All right, next up we have Parker's Aquatic saying, hey, do you have any experience with a pull behind gang reel mower? I do not. Says, I'd like to find a way to cut grass faster than a 46-inch mower, but I would like to have a clean cut without spending thousands. Here's the thing. Whenever you get into reel mowing, Parker, you gotta kind of bring your wallet, because here's the thing. Even if you could find, you could find them. You could find you can get a tow behind gang reel, but when it comes to maintenance, now you've got, not necessarily just one reel to service, you've got like multiples. If you got like a three unit gang reel, that's 3 cutting units, you got to go take in and make sure they're cut and they're sharp or in good shape. So it's going to be less expensive, yes, than buying like an actual ride-on, like an actual some of the big iron from Toro. But it's still going to cost you more than using like a 46-inch zero turn. So yeah, I don't have any recommendations for you on that one, unfortunately. I wish Demir was here; he might be able to tell you. But yeah, just know that it is still going to cost you more as far as maintenance goes than what you're doing right now with your zero turn. The grass is going to look better if it's set up properly. The grass is going to look better though. So just something to keep in mind. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you on that one. If you get it, let us know. Let me know. Take a picture. I'll show everyone on the live stream. It'll be cool stuff. All right. Next up, we have Daniel B in the house. He says, Country Time Zero Sugar Pink Lemonade is super underrated lemonade and doesn't contain all those dastardly carbs. Just saying. Okay, I will take that under advisement that it is underrated. But it doesn't contain all those carbs. However, and I'm gonna get hate mail for this, but I don't care. I'm just, probably people are gonna be mad, but I'm just gonna say it. There's some things in life that there should not be low-fat options for. Lemonade, I don't think there should be low-fat options for. If you can have lemonade, have your lemonade. Like ice cream, another thing. Like low-fat ice cream, it's sacrilegious. Like if you're gonna have ice cream the way it's meant to be. So, you know what? I will, if I can get a small packet of it, Daniel. I will try it, just to see. Maybe next week I'll have that. I'll have a small glass of it, of the Country Time Zero Pink Sugar Lemonade. I'll see if I can get, if it's a small pack, like a single pack, I'll get that and I'll try it out so I can say I'm not throwing shade on something I've not tried. But carbs are good. Carbs are fun. Carbs are what make life happy, right? Just make sure you balance your carbs. All right. Next up, we got M. Teskey in the house. He says, hello. Hello, M. Tesk. Hopefully you're doing well. You say, I have a backup pump sprayer. Fine for spot spraying, but I'm going to upgrade to battery for blanket sprays. That's cool. That's a good idea. So what you could do, M. Teskey 1, is you could keep your pump sprayer, like your little pump sprayer for like spot spraying herbicide. If you want to use it for that, that's a good option for it. And then for a battery, like a battery blanket spray, depending on your budget, there's two categories. You can spend between 120 up to 180. There's that's one price range, and you can go up to into the $300 price range. What you get from the $100 price range to more the $300 price range is higher pressures. The construction is better than a lot of those lower cost options, and you tend to get more goodies with it. Like the one that I would recommend, the one from Yard Mastery, although it's currently sold out right now, contains a set of spray tips that come along with it that you normally would spend 10, 15 bucks for to get delivered, and it comes with everything you need. So depending on what your budget is, you can go with either one of those. You can also get like a cheaper one and just get the spray tips after the fact too. But if you want to just buy one thing and never have to worry about it again, that one from Yard Mastery is the one that I would go with. Again, it's not in stock now, I don't believe. But if you want to, if you wanted just to bookmark it so you have it for for a week or so, whenever the nice folks at Yard Mastery get it back in stock, then you'll be good to go. Let me find a link here for you, and I'll give it to you. There we go. So this is the one that I recommend. And again, it's just sold out right now, unfortunately. There you go. That's the backpack sprayer. Good stuff. All right. Botros Marzok is in the house. It says, Bermuda grass, which pre-emergent do you recommend? Also, I need a good fertilizer, please. We'll be doing top dressing for the second time. Okay, a lot in that question. So for pre-emergent, if you don't have a battery, like a backpack sprayer, and you want like the easy way to do it, you can do either Prediamine or dithiopyr. Both of them are available in granular options. If it's your first time, just do Prediamine. It'll be easier. It's also a little less expensive. You'll save yourself some coin. So go to the golf course lawn store or click the link that's in the chat. Like if you look at the chat, your chat window, at the top there's a URL that I pinned there. That takes you to the weed control selection of the golf course lawn store. And what that will do is it will take you to a page that looks like this. And on said page, you will see this bag here for Prediamine, for granular Prediamine. So pick that guy. Like that is what I would roll with. This one right here. That's a good option for taking care of weeds in your lawn. For this spring, that's easy. That's an easier option, right? It doesn't require that you have a backpack sprayer. You don't have to worry about calibration or mixing chemicals or anything like that. It's just an easy way to go. If you're comfortable with that, then a more cost-effective option is to go with something like this, right? Like a 5-pound container for Prediamine. This is going to cost you, I don't know, $80 or so. But this will treat for Bermuda 2 acres. So right around 90,000 square feet, just under 90,000 square feet. This will do. Whereas that is like 15,000 square feet. So you're paying a bit more involved to do the liquid, but you get more for it. And in both the videos for the granular and for the liquid Prediamine on the store, I've got a video showing you about how to use both of them. So just up to you which one you want to go. As far as fertilizer goes, the way to know exactly which fertilizer you should be using in your lawn is to get a soil test done. Like this is the best way to go because this will literally tell you what your soil is deficient in, and it's the answers to the test. But if you're saying, hey, I want something just to use for top dressing, and you've got another fertilizer you're using, you just want to use something for top dressing. What I used last year and got really good results with is Humic Max. So if we go back here to the golf course lawn store, scroll down on the first row here is this, the Country Club 1608. This is an excellent fertilizer. It's again 16% nitrogen, 8% potassium, and it also has 8.9% humic acid. So it's a very good fertilizer, both for feeding your lawn, but also for feeding the soil. So this is what I would go with for your top dressing fertilizer as far as your project. That's what I did. It works really well. It's also a faster release fertilizer. So it aligns well with a spoon feeding program or for someone that's looking for something that's going to work quickly as part of top dressing. So I covered your pre-emergent, covered your fertilizer. Think you're good. If you need anything else, let me know. send me an email, Ron at Golf Course Lawn. That's not up there right now, but send an email to Ron at golfcourselawn.com, or just leave something in the chat and I will revisit it. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. All righty. Next up, Tyler's like, man, I am so stoked to make my brother's lawn an experiment for using non-commercial stuff. If he'll let me do it instead of our company, you've inspired me to play. Yeah, I guess if if your brother is cool with that, sure. I mean, I guess if he's cool with it and he's getting free turf care out of it, well, why not? And plus, you're not going to do anything that's too crazy that's going to like risk doing serious damage to the lawn, right? So, I mean, if he's getting free product apply and you're getting to do some testing and see what works, what doesn't work, yeah, I think it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Okay, let's see here. We have Eric Newton says, hey, Ron, since I put my fence up, I now have mold on the backside of my fence. It's where the water runs after rain, and those areas are now shaded. Mold has really increased since winter arrived. Yeah, so it's you can do the trick that Demir shared last week. So get some dish soap, something like Dawn, and water. I think he said like 4 ounces of Dawn mixed, or some ounces of dish soap. It doesn't have to be Dawn. 4 ounces of dish soap mixed with a gallon of water, and that will kill it. That will kill the mold or get rid of it. But this is probably a temporary thing, right? So you have the fence, it's causing more shade, and you also have cooler temperatures right now, which is also like you kind of talking about cool and damp and shade. So those all three put together, mold and moss loves that. So you can try that water and dish soap blend and see how that does. But it might be a situation where once temps get warmer, once we get into the spring and it heats up a bit, it goes away. It's not an issue then as it is now. One thing you can do though anyway is to make sure that water's not settling in that area. You're saying water runs there, but what you want to do is make sure that after it rains, say it rains in the morning, if you go out there in the afternoon, that area you want to make sure isn't like crazy soggy or any more wet than the rest, or any more damp than the rest of the lawn. If that's the case, you want to do something to help with the drainage so we can, minimize the conditions that cause mold and moss to become a thing. So check the drainage, just make sure that it's all in check. Do the water and dish soap option as to try and treat that. But then really just wait till springtime. Wait till we get some heat back and see how things look then before you get too worried about it. That's what I would do. Okay, Lee Farmer says, will you have any headway in the store anytime soon? I don't know. I'll just see about getting that in the golf course lawn store. That one's a bit more of a challenge to get. But if you want to get it and you want to support the channel, I've got a link that you can use to do that, Lee. So if you use, where is it? Let me go through my large text file of links. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can just simply go here and you can get headway. And I think they have it in stock. They actually lowered the price on it compared to, hopefully no one from Do My Own's watching. They actually lowered the price on it compared to what it costs during summer months. So if you're going to use it, like get some now. Because last year, let me look here. Last year, I want to say this was closer to, it was like $90. It definitely was not this price. So I'll show you guys here. I'll put a link in the chat for you first, Lee. Let's take care of you. So at Lee Farmer. So there is Headway. This is a link to Headway G. But if we look at it here really quick, like it did not cost this last year. Like I'll show you right now what it's going for. If I can find an open window to put it on, and I did, yay. So this is going for $80, right? Like this was like $90 last summer. Like this was like $90. So this is like this price is what like Caravan was like $85. This was like closer to $90 after like Aprilish last year. So if you want to use this, like, and this is what I would go with for a fungicide, like get it now. This is cheaper. And then Caravan, so you can use that link. Caravan, I think, is a bit more expensive now this time of year than it was last. Yeah, no, Caravan's about the same, about $91, $92. But Headway is definitely on sale now compared to what it costs last year. So if you're going to use that, get it now, or get it before Do My Own like probably watch this if they watch this and be like, oh, we need to raise the price on that. So take care of that. Get your fungicide now. It's actually a really good price on it. But yeah, as far as getting it in the store, I have to work on that. I have to work on seeing what it would take to make that happen. But there's a way to support the channel if you wanna get Headway in the meantime. All right, Butcher says one of the best for sure. I love the channel. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that. I'm trying to do it as good job I can for you guys, make it interesting and fun for you to watch. So you don't get bored and stop watching. Would hurt my feelings. So yeah, trying to make things as fun as possible. And then Archie's like, Kenny G. It's not Kenny G. It's something else. It's like some kind of tango mix I found in on the music service that I subscribe to. So there you go. And then My Flow says, when are you going to team up with BYD again? That was a good time. That's a good question. I need to reach out to BYD and see when he's got some free time to come on. I have to see when he's willing to come and do that. You're right. He's a riot, man. BYD is something else. So yeah, that's a good point. Demir and BYD, I got to make happen again. Got to make that happen. I got to reach out to him and see when he is down for that. All right, Rio the Hitman says, nice, Ron. I've been a software engineer for over 10 years, so nice to see other computer science guys into yards. Yeah, I think, you know what it is? I think it's the analytical nature, like the analytical brain that we have that makes it more fun, or at least for me, that's where I like all the experimentation and trying different rates and just, trying to figure out like what works best, at least for me, and that can also be easily reproducible for someone else. So yeah, that aspect of it is, I think, is what draws people of our type to lawn care. Plus, it's fun. It's fun, right? It's fun. It's rewarding. It's something that's not work. Although now it's kind of become work for me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. All right. Next up is Tim Jackson. He says, "Good evening, all. I just checked my soil temps in San Antonio. Full sun areas are 63 degrees. Holy cow, 62 degrees already? Wow. 63 degrees and mostly shaded are 52 degrees. The temp variable of pre-emergent is confusing this year. Your recommendations, sir?" I will tell you, Tim, that if you look at your forecast, look at your weather forecast for the next, 10 days, 14-day forecast if they have it. If you're not going to get like another cold snap, I would get it down. Like when it comes to pre-emergent, earlier is better than late. You want to be early versus late on pre-emergent. So if your soil temps here's the thing also too. I want to know what time of day you're checking. So if it's like 63 degrees for an hour of the day, it's still actually warm enough that you probably should have pre-emergent in the lawn. But check like one of the apps that will tell you for your area what the average soil temps are for your area. And you're close, man. You're pretty close. If it were me, I would get it down. If I were seeing 63-degree soil temps this time of year, and there's nothing in the forecast to show that you're going to see a significant drop over the next couple of weeks, I would get the pre-emergent down. Better to get it down earlier than late, because once the stuff starts germinating, once the weeds start germinating, it's, you're already behind the curve then. So yeah, like this time last year is when we did Alex's lawn, like a week or so from now, later, and it worked out really well for him. So if you're seeing high temps or higher soil temps for winter months, then yeah, get it done. And again, you got tons of options at the Golf Course Lawn Store at the link that's at the top of the chat. So yeah, I would get it done earlier than later. Cool. Kind of jealous. Wish we had that going on here. All right. Next up is Roderick. Roderick Rice. He has a question about the Greens Master, or just saying how to cut. He says, "What height of cut are you cutting your Bermuda at?" I just got my first GM 1000 and getting ready to bring it down from 2 inches. So the height of cut is the height that you should cut your grass at is based on how much time you have to mow. The lower you go, the more you have to mow. The lower you go, the more you have to mow. So if you want, I've run my height of cut at anywhere from, since I've been into power wheel mowing anyway, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch all the way down to just under 1/2 inch. I will tell you that the Goldilocks zone, Goldilocks height of cut for me, in my opinion, is 3/4 of an inch. So 0.75. It looks awesome. It looks incredible. And it's low enough that that it's not so you're not cutting it so short that you got to be out there every day like you would at 1/2 inch in summer months. Like I always say, 3/4 of an inch is a height that's good enough to where real mowing won't mess up your life, right? It won't ruin your life. You have to plan like parties and gatherings and going out of town around real mowing. Like go for 3/4 of an inch when you combine it with plant growth regulator. That's a good happy medium. So yeah, with your GM 1000. You're going to be good to go. The GM 1000, if memory serves me, will cut from 1/4 of an inch up to 1 1/4 inches, I believe. Like my 1600 does that, and I think the 1000 is the same. So if that's the case, you got a GM 1000, then 3/4 of an inch is a good height of cut. It's going to look awesome. You're going to dominate the neighborhood hardcore. People are going to be like, "Oh man, I wish I could look like Roderick." It's going to look awesome, and it's not going to be so much. You're not creating a ton of work for yourself then. If you're going to go that high to cut, Roderick, I'm not sure where in the country you are, but you might want to work on doing the scalp in a couple of sessions, because going from 2 inches to 1.25, or sorry, into to 3/4 of an inch is a lot of material to take off in one sitting. You know, that's a lot of work. So something to keep in mind. Congrats on the mower. Congrats on the mower. And hopefully that helps. Let us know if we can do anything else for you. And then Grace Ortiz says, have you watched PJ, Girls Lawn? Yes, I have watched some of her content. I haven't seen any of her new stuff this season yet. I got to check it out. Is there something cool that I should go check out and go watch? I think I saw that she just crossed 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys haven't supported her, go out and, you know, that's a huge milestone for YouTubers. So, you know, go give her a subscribe, give her some love as far as that goes. But yeah, I've seen her stuff in the past, Grace. I've not watched any of her stuff this season, but I did see the post from BYD where she just crossed 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this, PJ, congrats. Huge milestone, upward and onward, man. Hopefully this season you skyrocket and take off. So very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. All right, Lois is like 4 to 6 weeks, too long. On my lawn schedule, I have a Celoprin for March or April, Caravan G for May, June. I have Celsius and Certainty on my list, but I forgot why and when I need to use a combo. Okay, so here's the thing, Lois. I like where you're going with this. So a Celoprin in March, on point. Caravan G, May, June, also great. So that you're covering your insecticide, your fungicides. We're good on that front. I like that. Celsius Certainty, if you get a pre-emergent down, right? If you get a good pre-emergent down, you're really only going to be needing that for spot spraying. So if you get a good pre-emergent down here in the spring, so again, you got a choice of, you know, I think you have cool season grass. So in your case, Prediamine, if you go with something like this, like if you're fine with a backpack spray, something like this will work. Or if you want the granular, you can get the granular Prediamine, like either one of those. Get that down in the spring, you know, sometime late next month. That's going to do a ton for keeping weeds out of your lawn. And then the Celsius Certainty combination will only be as needed. You know, you're not going to have to blanket spray the lawn. You'll be using that just to spot spray some treat areas. If you're doing it right, you might not even need it. You know what I mean? So hopefully that helps. But keep in mind that Certainty and Celsius, I'm trying to remember what kind of grass you have. That is for warm season grass. Do not use Celsius on your cool season turf. Don't use it on cool season turf. If you have a cool season lawn like a fescue or a rye or Kentucky bluegrass, instead of Certainty, use Tenacity or Mesotrione. So if you just to make sure, I want to make sure you're covered here. Do not use Certainty if you have. Don't use Celsius if you have warm season grass or Certainty. I think Certainty will harm cool season grass as well. So that combination, the Celsius and Certainty, is for warm season grass. If you have cool season grass, then a Tenacity a Speed Zone combination will work well. So if you have cool season grass, you're going to get away from Celsius. We're going to scroll down here and we're going to go and pick up this guy, Mesotrione. So if you have cool season grass, like in your fescue, rye, Kentucky bluegrass, this is what you're going to want to use. The Mesotrione, this one, is what you're going to want to use. The Celsius is for warm season turf only. So don't spray this on your warm season lawn. It will injure it. It will injure/kill it. This is what you need to use on cool season turf. All right. So I just want to make sure, because I want to say you're from somewhere where you have cool season turf, I think. But if I'm wrong on that, and you've got Bermuda or Zoysia or St. Augustine, then that combination, Celsius Certainty, was the way to go. So just want to make sure you're covered and you're not going to do anything to damage your lawn. All right, next up, we have No Name says, hey Ron, any suggestions about something to apply for moles or something that seems to be burrowing around in my parents' backyard? Yeah, so there is a mole poison, I think it's called Talprid. I got to find it here. It's called Talprid, that I've recommended to a couple of people over the past season. They've gotten really good results with. I think I have, mole poison. Here we go. This guy right here. I think this is it. Let me make sure I'm showing you the right stuff. Nope, that's not it. Make sure I'm showing you the right product to make sure you're covered. Yeah, this is the stuff here. Yeah, Talprid mole baits. You can go look that up, or I can give you a link here to it. I'll put it in the chat. That will help. So one thing you can do too is if you have grubs in your lawn, eliminating the food source, eliminating the stuff that the moles eat will help some, but that's typically not enough to get rid of them altogether. So get an insecticide down in the spring, something like acelepryn. It's in a granular form. It's really easy to spread. But then for something that will target the moles, it's more of a poison that will go after them at no name. You want to use something like this. The mole poison I just linked in the chat, like that has been used by people in other viewers last year, and they've had really good results with it. So you can try that in addition to using an insecticide to eliminate one of the things that the moles eat. So hopefully that helps. Sorry you're dealing with that. They are a pain, but now you have a plan going forward. You got a plan of action, right? You got a plan of action. So can't beat it. Can't beat it. Robert Juarez. I'm not gonna put your comment up yet, Robert, because I haven't put the thing up yet. I haven't shown what it is. You have no idea what it is. What it is that Robert Rainey got. And so when I show that, then whoever wins that's gonna win a soil test kit. Actually, we can do that now. We can do that now. Okay. So Robert Rainey got a tool. He's getting into top dressing. He's getting into taking care of his lawn. He got a new mower and he got a new tool to go with it. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. Actually, make sure I'm clear to go here. I'm going to put this up on the screen now. Whoever answers first, someone kind of already did, but whoever answers correctly first is going to win a soil test kit from My Soil. All right, so it's going up on the screen now. What tool is that? I'm going to look here in the chat. Whoever answers accurately first will account for spelling errors is going to be the winner. Let us see. Who's going to get it? Who's got it? Who's going to get it? Who's first? Name that lawn care tool. What is it? Let's see. Robert already actually had it, Robert Mahora's already had it, but let's see if anyone else is going to chime in. What is the tool? Okay, we got Acu Messier. That's pretty close, Tim. We probably should take that, right? We should probably accept that as acceptable, Tim. So Tim said an Acu Messer, whatever it is. It's an Acu gauge is the proper name, but you're close enough. You were close enough. And you know what we're going to do, just because he was also telepathic in his ability to figure out what it was, I'll do 2 test kits. I'm going to do one. Let me make a note here. I'm going to send Robert Mahoras one. I'm going to send him one, and I'll send one to Tim Jackson. So say here, Tim Jackson and Robert Mahoras. So guys, to win this, you got to send me your address. You got to send me your mailing address of where you want said soil test swag to go. Send me an email to ron@golfcourselawn.com. ron@golfcourselawn.com. Send it there, and I will, with your address of where you want it to be shipped, and I will send it out. You guys are all right. It is an Acu gauge, but y'all all answered afterwards. Like Robert was definitely the first, and then Tim with Acu Messier. Kind of sounds like Acu gauge. was the first one to answer. I've never seen it called that before. But yeah. Let's see here. What else? You know what? I really should give it to the person that actually spelled it correctly. So Dalvin did. So you're making this expensive. You guys are making this expensive. Dalvin. So the first person that we'll say this, so that way there can be no hate. No one can be mad at me. They can be like, he didn't spell it right, because you guys are right. He technically didn't spell it right, but he knew what I was talking about. So now the most fair way to say this is Robert Mahoras, because he put it in the chat first, even though he did it too soon. Tim, because even though he said Acumasura, blah, that was what he was trying to say. But then Dalvin actually spelled it correctly. So now we are fair. No one can be mad about not winning because I've done it as fairly as possible. All right. So, because Dalvin was the first correct answer, the first correctly spelled answer that came in the chat after the contest actually started. So there you go. try to keep everybody happy. Lee, you were there, but Robert, yeah. All right, so next up, let me find out where I was. This is the hardest part about this. Let's see here. We got a bunch of answers. So you got Lee with AccuGauge. Robert was first, though. And then Botros Marzark says, Ron, I just ordered something from your store. Can you confirm if I bought the right stuff, please? And thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you put the order number in the chat, you don't need to tell me what you ordered. I mean, what were you looking to order? And put the order number in the chat, and I can look really quick. I mean, can I do that really quick? I think I can do that really quick. And I'm assuming, and also assuming your name matches. So it looks like, yeah, I think I found you. It looks like you ordered. What did you order? I don't know what your name is, Botros. Oh yeah, there you are. I found you. So yeah, so you ordered Dithiopyr. Yes, you ordered the right pre-emergent. If that's what you're going for pre-emergent, you ordered the right stuff. Yeah, you did. So if that's what you're trying to get, you got the right stuff. So thank you for that. Appreciate the support, sir. You did well. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right. Tim Jackson says 25 years as an Army Ranger. It bothers me to watch movies. Same as you. I point out every discrepancy. Yeah, I have a couple of friends that he was a Ranger. He's a Ranger as well. And yeah, he said he can't watch. He said the closest movie that actually depicts what it's like being shot at is like is Saving Private Ryan, like the opening beach scene. He's when everything goes like to hell in a handbasket. That is the probably the closest depiction of what it's really like being shot at like in a war zone. He said, but if that happens these days, you kind of messed up. But that's yeah. He says that's the closest to what it's like. All right, looking for the next question here. Let's see what else we have here. All right, Jason Harris, that's a good question. He says, how often to wait between soil tests? I put down lime in early December. Want to measure its effectiveness. So pH for the lime to react with the soil, Jason, and for you to see a difference. I've seen a difference in as little as 3 months. So to show you what I'm talking about here, do I have this up still? I think I do. I can make this happen. So if you want to see how the pH moved around from summer to fall, when I did a heavy application, take a look at this soil test. Let me see here if I make sure I got this right. So I've got Ron Henry summer. Hang on, come over here real quick. I can show you guys. You can drive along with me. I got the summer and I got the fall. And if I compare those two samples, I think this is correct. Yeah. So I went really heavy in the June timeframe. This last column here, let me get you actually off the screen here so you can see. This last column here is pH, right there. And you can see that this was done in June, and then the soil test, this one was done in October, right? So you can see over the course of, 3-4 months, the lime did react, and you can see that there was a movement in pH over the 3 or 4 month period. So to answer your question, 3 to 4 months if you're just looking to see if things are kind of trending the right way, but it also depends on your soil, right? Like if you have soil that is like, without getting too technical, if the buffer pH for your soil is like very, very acidic, meaning that the natural area of where your soil likes to be is on the more acidic side, even if you put a heavy application down, you might not see as much movement in that 3 to 4 month period. But if you're wanting to see when you should see some change, 4 months is a good time frame. The reason why I'm also a fan of that, especially for someone like you that is trying to correct whatever's going on with you, I guess low, more acidic soil, you're trying to raise your pH, is that if you do a test, if you put the lime down in December and you do like a soil test in say March, March a few months from now, you still have this season to continue to put lime down as well. So if you did one in December and you look in March and say, hey, hasn't really moved that much, or it's moving, but not as, maybe I need a little bit more, you can do another application. So you can you're using data to drive your inputs, if that makes sense. So it depends on, 3 months is enough, 3 to 4 months is enough to see a change, but what you saw in my lawn, this doesn't necessarily means you'll see that in your lawn. It depends on it depends on where the pH of your soil naturally likes to be. If it's normally higher, you might get a better result than I got, right? So 4 months is when I would do it. But at a minimum, if you're not trying to correct pH or do any kind of major change, at least once a year. At least once a year. And if you can only do it once a year, in the springtime, so you know what your inputs, what inputs to put into the lawn to get the best result over the growing season. Good question. Good question. Yep. And then Tyler's saying here, yeah, a lime can take a long time to get into the soil, depending on the prill size, the volume you're using, and the pH of where the soil normally likes to be, right? So there's a lot of different factors. One thing I will tell you, Jason, and it's probably too late at this point, but when you put lime down, you want to either time it when there's going to be a very, very heavy rain, or you want to water it in heavily. You want to make sure it gets down into the soil so you can begin reacting, start breaking down and begin working. So hopefully that helps. Great question. Great question. All right. And then P says, have you gotten your hands on Power Cure from any golf course buddies yet? That would be a dream come true. No, because it's not really rated. Here's the thing. Even if I got hold of some Power Cure, right? So if I got a golf course, I think Demir's golf course is one of the ones that actually were trying it out. Even if I got some, it's kind of pointless to use for two reasons. One, it's not rated for residential lawns, so you really shouldn't be using it on residential turf. And then second, you guys can't get it anyway. So what's the point of like using something that one is not supposed? I'm not supposed to really be using on residential lawns in the first place. And then even if it were like the second coming of getting rid of Poanua in your lawn, you guys are going to be able to get it. So there's not much value in even really going down that road. You never know. Maybe at some point, if it's very effective and they think they can make it available to professional applicators or homeowners, then it'll be a thing. But not quite yet. Not quite yet. It'd be cool. It'd be a cool product. It'd be a cool product to be able to use if it works as well as the data is showing that it can, Piyush. But yeah, I don't have any of it. Tyler says, do you have a Discord group for lawn nerds? I do not. I don't have a Discord group, but what I do have is the Golf Course Lawn Academy Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group for people that are in the academy. So you do have to sign up for the course to be part of that. That is where you get like more direct access to me. You have other you have like Daryl's in there, Patrick's in there, Alex is in there. There's a few other people in there, like a good group of guys and gals that are really serious about their lawns. That are just really committed to it, and it's fun. It's a tighter knit group. People we can talk about stuff and not have to have like jerks coming in and just being difficult. So there's that. But you have to join the academy to do that. And if you want, here's the thing, Tyler, just for you, and I mean just for you and anyone else that's watching this, I'll give you a discount code that you can use to save 30%. I was really only giving this out to people that were already on my mailing list for the store. But because you asked, this is a discount code you can use if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store and pick it up there. You can use this code at checkout. It's Academy 30. That will save you 30% off the course. It'll discount the price of the course, which saves you money. So in addition to the group, which is what you seem like you really care about, you get that. You also get the lessons, all the material that's in there, which is really, really good stuff. I'm really proud of that, and I'm going to keep adding more to it over the season. You get a discount. So there's a discount only for people that are in the Golf Course Lawn Academy. It's currently it's a discount that's applied to Miramichi Green products in the Golf Course Lawn Store. So you're able to save some money on that. So in many ways, the money you're paying for the course, over time, you can recoup the cost of it. You can almost get it for free, depending on how much stuff you buy over the course of time. And yeah, so there's tons of really good reasons to do it, and with a discount, it saves you some money. So yeah, so there's the discount code, and actually, let me see if I can actually make it even easier for you. I can give you a link that will make life even easier. You don't have to go search. As soon as I make things hard, people are less likely to do it. Let's see here. Do I still have? I thought there was a link that I had for that would take you right to it, but I am not seeing it. Not seeing it right now. So I might have to. But just go to the Golf Course Lawn Store. Throw the course in the cart, and then use that code at checkout, and it will take 30% off of it. But here it is. There we go. I found it, you guys. So copy link address. I think this is it. Yep. This link will save you 30% on it. Tyler, if you decide that you're going to go with the academy. And it's fun. I think you'd like it. So that link will take 30% off and take you right to the course. So hopefully that helps. All right, next up, we have Kevin D. Jones in the house. He says, "Hey, Ron, I spoke to several places on my reel mower hunt. TrueCut has been sold, and the TrueCut has been sold. You already sold the TrueCut? You sold the TrueCut already? Without getting a new one? I don't know about that, man. I don't know if I can co-sign this approach, Kevin. But we'll continue." He says, "TrueCut has been sold, and there will be a supply shortage this year with the sell and lack of engines. Get parts now if you have one." Hang on. So I spoke to several places on my reel mower hunt. TrueCut has been sold. Huh. Check Reel Rollers, man. They should. I thought you already had a reel mower, but check Lee and Andrew and Eric at Reel Rollers. They might be able to get you one. But to your point, yes, like there is going to be a supply shortage for everything, like fertilizer, herbicide, like everything's gonna be more difficult to come by. So if you know you want that stuff, get it now. If anything, it's gonna be cheaper now than whenever supply chain really becomes an issue and we have to start. What's gonna happen is businesses are going to start raising their prices to slow down, the sales so they don't run out of product. This was because, that's where it's going to go. So if you have some stuff you want to use, I would load up on it now. Lawn care stuff doesn't go bad. Just, especially over a couple of months, get it, put it in the garage, and you'll be good to go. All right. Yeah, but sorry you're dealing with having a hard time finding a mower, Kevin. I think if I'm reading your question correctly. All right, and I got a super chat here from Robert. Let me get down here and get that. Thank you so much, Robert.
Super chat received.
Thanks so much. And again, congrats on winning the soil test kit. Be sure to send me an email here, ron@golfcourselawn.com, with the address of where you want it to go, and I will get that out to you post haste. And we'll be good to go. Now, this is the hardest part, guys, finding where I left off. You guys have no idea whenever I scroll down to go find the super chats, how hard it is to find where I was. All right, next up we have John Williams says, "Sorry, I might have missed this, but what would be some good stuff to put down on a centipede lawn? What kind of grass is this? I'm in Savannah, Georgia." So I don't have a picture of what you're dealing with, John. I want to say Prediamine. Prediamine should be safe for a centipede. I mean, I can check here really quick. I've never applied it to that, but I want to say it should be safe as a pre-emergent for centipede lawns. As always, we shall consult the label. I'd be shocked if it's not. I want to say that you should be, yeah. So it's fine. Yeah. So you have a couple of options, John. If you want easy mode, you can go with Prediamine in granular form. You can get the bags. We have them at the Golf Course Lawn Store. The link in the description, or the link that's pinned at the top of the chat. If you go there, I'll just show you too, because there's also the dithiopyr here too. I don't want you to get the wrong thing. I want you to get the one that we're talking about. So if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store, use the link that's in the top of the chat. It will take you here. And then for a granular, you can go with this, which is the Prediamine in a granular form. If you're comfortable with mixing, using a backpack sprayer, mixing up your lawn care products, you're mixing up your herbicides and applying it, you will get much more value for money by going with this. It's a little bit more money, but like this treats 15,000 square feet. This treats like 90,000 square feet. So it's a huge, you get way more, but what you're getting with this one, with the granular, is convenience. Like pretty much anyone can apply this. You don't need to have any specialized tools. You don't need a sprayer. You don't need to have that sprayer calibrated and know how much material you're putting down what your walking pace needs to be to make sure you're putting down it at the correct rate. So a granular is easier, but you get more value for money out of a liquid. So either one you can't go wrong with. For most people, the first time around, I tend to tell them to go the granular route. All right, so let's go back here and we will move over. Hopefully that helps. John. So yeah, that's a good option for your pre-emergent for keeping weeds out of your lawn in the springtime. Okay, Andrew Phillips is dropping some points here about algae and some things that he used, the Bio Advanced. Those can work, but one, you can do what Demir was suggesting as far as using just soap and water. So like dishwashing soap and mixed with a gallon of water. I think he said 4 ounces or so. Just use that. And but again, I would not be in a huge rush to go out and start smacking it with with chemicals, especially given this time of year. Wait, maybe give it until till temps get a little bit warmer and see if it's still an issue. And in the meantime, like I was saying, ensure that you're not having drainage problems in the lawn. Make sure you don't like have an area where water is pooling. It's causing, you're creating conditions where moss and algae are becoming more of a thing. All right, Demir's in the house. What's going on, Demir? Hopefully all is well, sir. He says, way late tonight. Looking forward to catching a little bit of good turf talk. A little bit. Yeah, man. We've been talking about pre-emergent and and other herbicides, post-emergence and soil testing, and why pre-emergent will change your life as far as keeping weeds out of your lawn. All that fun stuff. I guess you've been busy at the golf course and, sure, you're saying like snow removal and just other general maintenance, but we got to get you back on the show. Got to get you back on the show, man. Got to get you on. So, once you get a little break in the season, you got to let me know and we'll get you want to get BYD on. So should be a great time. Glad to see you here, sir. Hope all is going well with you. All right, next up we got Andy Nelson. He says, is the POA lighter this season compared to last? I don't know. I can't say that. I'll have to look around and I'll walk the lawns and see if I see POA in some of the neighbors' lawns and see if it's becoming more of a thing. I can't say there's any lighter this season than it has in years past. If you are seeing less POA in your lawn this year than last year and you use pre-emergent on your lawn last year, that could be some of it. But just I don't know if widespread there's like across the country like POA is less of a thing. Might be, but I've not heard that. So I can't. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you. But I have no data to be able to say that is the case. Okay, Proficient Refinishing says, I'm first year beginner in lawn care. What is the best pre-emergent, Prediamine or Dithiopyr? Yes. Either one will work well. Go with Prediamine. It's a little bit cheaper, and it's again go with Prediamine. Get it in granular form. If it's your first time, it's really easy to spread. There's videos on like if you again. I think I just showed. Who did I just show that to? Whoever it was I was just talking to. Scatterbrain. My brain goes away in like after 5 minutes, right? Look at in the video in the description for the product. There's a video that also tells you how to apply it, how to measure it out, so you get a good result. And it's not hard. And here's the thing: I don't want to. I've been talking down the liquids a bit as it being more difficult. Applying the liquid Prediamine is not difficult. It really isn't. It's just there's just more to it than doing the granular. Literally, the granular, you open the bag, open the spreader, set the spreader correctly, throw it in, and away you go. You know what I mean? Like you measure out the amount of product you need, put in the spreader, walk the lawn, and you're done. With the liquid or with the water dispersible granule, you do need like a precise scale to measure it out, and then and you really need to have your backpack sprayer calibrated. And by calibrated, all that it sounds complicated, but all that really means is you know what walking pace you need to have to ensure you're putting out a gallon of product over 1,000 square feet, so you're not over applying or under applying it. Once you do that, you're good to go, and you're going to save a lot of money going with the liquid route. In the Golf Course Land Academy, and also in the description of the liquid Prediamine, there's a video that shows you how to do it. It's really not hard. So it just depends on you, Proficient Refinishing, how geeky you want to be the first time around. Either way, you're going to get a good result. But the granular is definitely easier for someone that's doing it the very first time. Hopefully that helps. I think you're new to the channel, so if you are new or first time commenting, welcome. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Next up is Juan Enriquez. He says, "Hey Ron, I put in my pre-emergent already in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I am too early." You're a bit early, but it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like no harm, no foul. Juan, it's not going to be. You're not going to have an issue. Yeah, it's again. We did. Alex and I did his lawn around this time of year last year, and again, it is earlier than when you really need to put it down. You could have waited a few more weeks before doing it. But we did it last year really as a way to test and see if we do a pre-emergent application earlier in the season, a little bit earlier than you really need to, what happens? Over the course of the summer, are we going to get a lot of issues with weeds growing through? We're going to have a big problem. And we didn't. And the thing is, we did an application on his lawn. Again, I believe it was the last week of January, so around this time frame, or the first week of February, around the same time you're doing it. And we aerated his lawn, we top dressed his lawn, and he didn't have any issues with weeds in his lawn until we got into the fall months, right? Because he was also a little bit late on getting his fall pre-emergent down. So yeah, you should be fine. No worries at all. I think you should be good to go. I would not lose sleep over it. No sweat. The big thing is you got it down. A lot of people won't do that, which is the really important thing. All right. And then Butchers was like, I got the right fertilizer, but the wrong pre-emergent. No, you didn't. You didn't. Dithiopyr or Prediamine will work. Either one of them are gonna be fine. You'll get a good result with either one of them. I mean, if you want, get a bag of Prediamine and save the Dithiopyr for the fall. So you can put the bag of Prediamine down in the spring now if you want, and then save the Dithiopyr for fall time if you want to go that route. It's not an either or. It's not like one is better than the other. Either one is going to get a good result. Either one will work well. The only not I could give to Dithiopyr is that if you apply it a little bit later, so if you applied it in say March timeframe, and you already have some baby crabgrass that's starting to grow, Dithiopyr has the ability to kill baby crabgrass. It has a little bit of reach back on very young crabgrass. Got to be young. Can't be the big stuff. It's young crabgrass. That's the only real differences between them. And the Dithiopyr is a little bit more expensive. But I mean, don't feel like, oh, I got the Dithiopyr, I did it wrong. You can, either one of them will work for what you're trying to do. And if you really feel strongly about it, get a bag of the Prediamine and granular, put that down in the spring, and just save the Dithiopyr for the fall. Either way will work well. No problems at all. You did not do it wrong. And then Tim Jackson says 52 is the lowest it's been all winter. Wow. Yeah, man. So if that's the case for you, you might be like how Alan is. Like some of the guys in Florida, like those guys apply pre-emergent, like they break it up into thirds. They apply it, I would say like this really year round, but they don't necessarily only do it in the spring and fall. They will do lighter apps, but more apps in the season. So in your case, yeah, I mean, if your soil temps are in the 50s, that's the lowest it's been, and then it's getting into the 60s, you're going to want to have some pre-emergent in the soil to keep the weeds away. Yeah, in your case, absolutely. That would be a situation where you'd want to have some down. All right, next up we have Jinwan Park. He says, hi all, looking forward to getting back into it about a month, and from Austin, Texas. Yeah, man, definitely Jinwan. It sounds cool. You and me both, man. But I mean, enjoy this time off. Enjoy it, because once it starts, man, it's all going to be work. It's going to be, scalping the lawn. It's going to be pre-emergent. You can get your fertilizer down. You got to get your insecticide down. And it's just all the mowing and everything goes along with it. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. It's going to be a really good season. All right, next up, we got Christopher Burkett here. He says, planning on applying mid-high rate on coastal herbicides soon, 6 to 8 weeks before green up. And then applying dimension around 4 weeks after the coastal application. Your thoughts? I have Zenith zoysia. I think it's a bit much, Chris. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go 4 weeks after on the dimension if you're doing it at the mid to high rate in you said 4 to 6 weeks. So that's like mid-March. Yeah. So here's the thing: if you're going to do coastal at the mid at a not the max rate, at a lower rate, and you want to use dimension, I would wait. I would either apply both of them at a lower rate, more towards the lower end, or wait a bit more on the dimension. Because here's the thing, right? The coastal has got Prediamine in it. That's going to carry you well into the late spring, early summer. I mean, really, if you do it right, it's going to take care of you all season. But and the secret sauce, the benefit of Dithiopyr, the one advantage it has is that it can kill young crabgrass. So, if any crabgrass is still breaking through after your coastal application, that would be the time when you could do your dimension app, because, you're going to put a little bit more pre-emergent in to prevent more or fresh weeds from growing in. And you're going to be able to take care of any baby crabgrass that are rearing their ugly head. But I wouldn't set a time frame of like, I'm going to do coastal herbicide, and then 4 weeks later, I'm going to go out and do another pre-emergent with dimension. I think that's too much. I would space them out a bit more. And I would go at a slightly lower rate on each of them, since your plan is to do two pre-emergents in the springtime. You really don't need to do that. You really just pick one and be good, to be completely honest. But if you really have your start set on doing this, maybe you're testing it, you just want to see, go towards the lower end of the application rate if you're going to go do that. And I would spread them out. I would not do them 4 weeks apart. That's too close. Great question. Good one. All right, next up we got Mazama Blue in the house. He says, happy Friday, everyone. The lawn is covered in snow. I keep telling myself, under this blanket is a Ron Henry approved lawn. LMAO sent a picture. Do I have a picture? I don't know if I have a picture. Can I find it really quickly? When did you send it, Mazama? Can I find it quickly? Let's see here. What did you send to me? Let us see. What did you send? What did you send? All right. Looks like. Oh, good Lord. Oh, that's painful. Oh, I got. Oh, it seems. Oh, you guys got to see this. Yeah, he did send me a pic, and it's just. It's not good, guys. It's not good. It's not good. Let's just say his green up is it's got a ways to go. So you got the hat out there. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Looking good. You know, you're supporting on the lawn, but that is the opposite of green up, sir. You have got a ways to go. You got a ways to go for your lawn turning green. But that's, hey man, enjoy the off time because it's going to go away soon, and then you're going to be out there wishing for time off. So, but yeah, you weren't kidding. You've got a ton of snow. It's pretty, really pretty. So there's that. All right, David Lee's in the house. He says, "Big up, Ron. What's going on, man? What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, David." And then we got Walter in the house. He has a question about armyworms. He says, "Hey, lots of armyworms and moths last fall. So I'm assuming there are eggs in the ground. Should my insecticide application in the spring take care of them?" Yes. So what I would go with is Acelepryn. I'm going to tell you, Walter, Acelepryn G, I applied that in mid-March last year. And when all the lawns around here were getting crushed by armyworms, my lawn and Alex's lawn were both armyworm free. We had no issues. So one application, it is a little bit more expensive product, but one application of it in early spring, like Marchish timeframe, is going and make sure it's watered in well. It's going to do you. It's going to take care of you for the entire season. It's really, really good against grubs. It's really good against armyworms. Both. It's an excellent insecticide. Can't say enough about it. The only negative is that it's not cheap. But that's like most things in life, right? It's like good and cheap. Like, and it's what normally it's good, cheap, fast. Choose two. And this is good and cheap. So, and it works for a long time. Works all season. So, but yeah, if you're going to go that route, I'll put a link in the chat for you. That is what I'd recommend. That is what I'm going to be using on my lawn this spring. So I really do like it. And here's the thing, there's the active ingredient that's in it. You can get it in some products that are at Home Depot. Like I got some people ask me that saying, "Hey, I use this product that I got at Home Depot, and I still got grubs in my lawn, or I still got armyworms." And I'm like, yeah, well, some of it is one, the concentration of the active ingredient in Acelepryn is higher than what is used in a lot of the big box store products. So you really do get what you pay for when it comes to this stuff, guys. And I would just buy once, cry once. You're gonna put it in your lawn once for the beginning of the season. You're not gonna have issues with insects. Bugs are not gonna be a problem. So I put a link in the chat there for you, Walter. Hopefully that does the trick. The time to do that is gonna be mid-March. And there's video on the channel that I have that talks about it, applying it, all that fun stuff. So hopefully that helps. Definitely get it down in mid-March. Don't wait too late in the season, because if you've already had issues before with insects, you don't want to give them a head start. You want to take care of them, before they take off. Okay, Tyler says, "What is the smallest amount of space you could grow grass in to be able to experiment with? Like 1 square feet, or I don't think that's enough, or more, just for data collection, assuming most chemicals I can calculate the tiny volumes need." So when I've seen, like, you look at some of the ag programs, I've seen them when they test like pre-emergent, they will do plots that are like 20 feet, like 20 by 10 feet. I've seen them do plots in that size frame. They don't do 1 square foot plots. So I've seen that done, and that would work well. 1 square feet, man. I don't know that's really not, that's not enough. It's not enough to really know that, to know that's going to be. It's too small a space, right, to get your application to know that it's doing. You don't have big enough area to know that it's actually doing and producing the result, or not producing the result that you think it is. So I would make that a little bit bigger if you're going to do that. 10 by 20, so 200 square feet. That's a good number. That's what I would go with. All right, Shelby says, "I just emailed you my soil tests. First year of this house in Fort Worth. I have some Anderson's 1010 to hit it hard in the season. I also have the carbon kit as well. Cool deals. I will look at it as soon as I get off the live stream. I'll go through the email, and I'll look at your soil test results and let you know what I think. And we should be good to go. Congrats. I appreciate you getting the carbon kit. It's good stuff. You will like the results you get with it." Yeah, and then Lois says, "Yeah, I have warm season Bermuda." So yeah, in that case, you're good to go. Granular dimension application scheduled for February. You're ahead of the game. you're good at the game, Lois. And then yes, in that case, dimension. In that case, certainty and Celsius, that certainty Celsius combo. If you still have weeds in your lawn, which you really shouldn't, is going to be great for spot spraying throughout next season. If that, throughout this season when it starts up, if that happens. I keep saying next season, but we're almost into next season now. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Botros. He says, should I apply pre-emergent prior to top dressing? And when should I apply the fertilizer? I would, because really, Botros, you're not going to want to top dress until the grass is actively growing. In my area, that is around the May-June timeframe. So really the first part of May into June, that's like the Goldilocks zone in my area for top dressing. And that's way too late for pre-emergent, way too late. So yes, you want to get your pre-emergent down really in the next, late February, early March is when you want to do it. And then do your top dressing in, like I said, May-June timeframe. Really, the reason why you want to wait till May-June to do your top dressing is when you want to wait till the grass is actively growing so it recovers quickly, right? And then pre-emergent, it's way too late to do it then. You're going to have any weeds that were going to grow in your lawn are going to be living their best life if you wait till May or June to put pre-emergent down. There's really no point in even doing it at that late in the season. So get your pre-emergent down early and do your top dressing later on in the season when the grass is growing aggressively. The two are not linked in any way. So it's a good question. Good question. All right. And yeah, I see you guys being good sports about it. Here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna do more giveaways again. So it's not like if you didn't win tonight, there's gonna be chances to win again. I'll do more soil test giveaways and other fun stuff. And we'd like to give away stuff on the channel to help you guys with your lawns. It's always it's fun. It's fun stuff to do, especially soil tests, because it's like one of the best tools literally that people do not use, that doesn't cost that much, and literally has some of the biggest impact in making good choices for your lawn. So that's why I like to do soil tests a lot. All right, Jinwan Park has a question. He says, what is the best way to lower pH for Bermuda? Austin, Texas. Okay, so there's a couple of options. You've got a sulfate of some sort, so like an elemental sulfate or citric acid. That can work for lowering pH, for bringing it down. So if your soil is more alkaline, I've got a video here that the guys at My Soil put together that is really awesome. It's a series they did on pH. They actually did a video showing how to change soil pH on. They took both acidic soils and alkaline soils, and the acidic soils they treated with lime, and the alkaline soils, the more what you have where you need to get it lower, they used elemental sulfate and a citric acid, and they tracked it over a couple of months to see how long it took for it to see a measurable result. So I'm going to send you this video, and this is the first video in a series that you're going to absolutely love. So as far as like guys that really know their stuff, and that will be able to give you a ton of options as far as, for you to see what you can expect as far as lowering your pH and options for that. Check out this video. So I'm going to give you this here, the Soil Lab video on pH. Take a look at that. It's really good stuff. You did a great job on it. But the long short of it is elemental sulfate or citric acid. Either one of those can work well for lowering your pH. How long it takes, a lot of different factors. They go into those factors in that video. So take a look there, and if you have any other questions after watching that, shoot me an email here, ron@golfcourselawn.com, and I will do my best to help you out. Appreciate the question. Ammonium, yeah, there we go. So he's here with ammonium sulfate, or he's not saying citric acid, but yes, either one of those can work. All right, Andrew Phillips said, I wish I would have had that discount code when I joined a few weeks ago, LOL. Yeah, so there's the code. The code is Academy30, so there it is. It's up on the screen now for anyone that watches this. I'm not sure how long the code is going to work for. I was planning to keep it around just really until the end of January, but Academy30, if you use that at checkout at the golf course lawn stores, you have to go here and buy it here. If you go to golfcourselawn.com and buy it, you're not going to get the discount. But if you go to the golf course lawn store and buy it and you use that code at checkout, it'll save you 30% off the price of the course, which is a steal considering that you also get like a discount in the store with it, so it makes it even faster for you to recoup your money in addition to all the other cool benefits that you get with it. All right, next up we have James Kelly in the house and says, Common Bermuda was taking over. I torched half my lawn and seeded with Kentucky bluegrass last fall. Now I want to burn off the other half of my lawn this spring. Should I use pre-emergent on what I did last fall? Okay, so let me see if I understand this. So you got common Bermuda, you want to get rid of it. You put down Kentucky bluegrass. You seeded that part with Kentucky bluegrass. Okay, so you're asking if you want to do the other half, and you want to use seed to establish Kentucky bluegrass. Should you use pre-emergent on it? No, don't do that. So if this is your lawn, and this half is the one that used to be, we'll say over here, like where all the stuff is, all the stuff on my screen. If this half of your lawn is that you've already got the ryegrass on, and then the other half over here is what you're trying to, still the common Bermuda that you want to get rid of and do ryegrass on, or sorry, Kentucky bluegrass on this season, you would not want to put pre-emergent on this part of it. So if this is the part that's already the way you want it, then I got to go backwards. It's reverse the camera. If this is the part where you already want it, pre-emergent here, good. Over here, pre-emergent, bad. So the areas that you're planning to do seed, do not put down pre-emergent if you're trying to get the best possible germination. So you cannot do pre-emergent on the whole thing if you want and just deal with weeds as they come along. That's an option too. But I mean, I would not put pre-emergent on the area where you are trying to grow grass from seed. Let's see. And then Andrews Philip says, Ron, does the discount code for the Academy members expire? I joined 3 weeks ago, putting down my product list to start buying products. No, it doesn't. It's good for at least this growing season. So at least this year, that code will work. I mean, the one thing I would still say is that get your products ahead of time, because one, if the trend that I'm hearing and seeing continues, one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to A, run out, or B, stuff's going to cost more because it's going to be harder to come by. So if you got it, yes, the code is good. It's not going to. I'm going to keep the code for this season, for this growing season at least. But don't. I would not wait. Yeah, there's really no plan for Academy members to not be able to use a discount. That's one of the perks. That's one of the perks of joining it. Yeah. So yeah, you're fine. All the season you're going to be good to go. And remember the code that you guys know about that's only for members is for Miramichi green products in the store. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's see here. Tim Jackson says, did we talk about max annual dosage and why we might need to change to the other pre-emergent? We did not, Tim, but we will talk about that now. Yes. Okay, so for Prediamine, there is an annual rate. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. It's in the video that I did on pre-emergent. If you decide that you're going to go full rate on Prediamine in the spring, that's fine. But what that means is in the fall, you need to switch to a different pre-emergent. So that's where something like dithiopyr, like the granular dithiopyr you see we have in the store, where that would come in. Some people that don't switch it up, that they just use Prediamine they just use it. They don't switch pre-emergents. You would use half of your allocation in the spring, the half of the annual limit in the spring, and then save the other half limit for the fall. Really, it's better to switch them up. And really, there's no reason to not do that, because from a price standpoint, there's not a huge difference in dithiopyr and Prediamine if you're doing the granular. If you're doing the liquids, it's kind of expensive because the volumes you have to buy it in makes it more expensive. But if you are doing the granular, there's less than a $10 difference between the Prediamine and the dithiopyr. So really, there's no reason to not alter them in the spring and fall applications. But it's a good point, Tim. There is a limit as far as how much of this you need to use in your lawn, and it's not just for Prediamine. It's for most herbicides. Most herbicides, even plant growth regulator, even that has a limit on how much of the active ingredient you're supposed to put into the soil in a given year. So it's not like this is something that's only a pre-emergent thing. It's really, outside of organic products or non-toxic products, most of them on the label will have a limit of saying don't exceed this amount per square feet per year. So for Prediamine, I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I believe it's in the description. If you go again to the link that's pinned at the top of the chat, and the description for the product description for Prediamine, I believe I have it in there. And in the video that I did on it, that's also in that description, I definitely have it in there. So in one of those two places, you will find it. Good point, Tim. Thanks for covering that. So we're good to go on dosage. So I think we've got all the topics covered now. I appreciate you bringing that up. See, thanks for the assist. That's why I need you guys in here. All right, Justin Aguilar is up next. He says, "Hey Ron, I had fungus issues late last year. when I put fall fert, the grass went yellow. I tried f-stop ×2 applications in September, seemed to help. Will I have trouble when spring arrives? So if you're going to have fungus issues in the spring, there's a couple of factors. If you did a heavy fertilizer app, in other words, if you had a lot of excessive amounts of nitrogen in the lawn in the fall, like that can cause issues with creating conditions for spring dead spot. So we're gonna. It's honestly, I can't tell you. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, because I don't know how much fertilizer you put down in the fall. And you did do the right thing. Doing multiple fungicide applications coupled with reduced nitrogen input, that is the recipe for preventing spring fungus issues, particularly spring dead spot. But to see if you did enough, we're just going to have to wait and see. It looks like you did the right things, man. It looks like you did a fungicide, and you didn't tell me how much fert you put down, but it looks like you did the correct things. Kind of like me, you have to wait and see. Like, I reduced my nitrogen inputs. My soil test results kind of show that. And I did a couple of fungicide applications. I think I did it all right. We will see in the spring if I have any spring dead spot in the areas that I had it this spring. So, like most things in life, time will tell, right? And back here, wrong one. All right, there we go. So, yeah, but you did the right things, man. You should be good to go. All right. VMH says, "Hey Ron, when applying dimension, should we apply it like post-emergent with a methylated seed oil, like a surfactant, and using a fine spray tip?" No. Nope. You should not. So pre-emergent needs to get down into the soil to work. So if you use a surfactant, if you think about it, like, this is why when people if you look at like a good example like Coastal, the reason why they get away with using imazaquin and simazine in this, along with Prediamine, is because all three products, even though the two of them are post-emergents, need to get down in the soil, or designed to get down in the soil to work. So, and most pre-emergents work that way. Pretty much all of them work that way. So by using any kind of a surfactant that is going to cause the product to adhere to the plant, it's going to stick to the foliage, you're working against yourself. Like, it's not doing what it needs to do if it's stuck to the grass. It needs to be in the soil to work. So no, you don't need to use an MSO with it. You really want to use a coarser tip, so an air induction tip, like something like this from TJet. You want a larger droplet size when it comes to applying pre-emergent. And just follow the label. You can check the label for dimension, but I would be shocked if they told you to use surfactant with it. I'm almost positive they're going to say not. They're going to say not to do that, because it needs to get in the soil to work. And if you want to know which tips I recommend, like which ones to use, I think you already have this VMH. I think you're already covered. But I did do a video late last year, all on sprayer tips, on which ones that that for foliar apps and also for soil applications. So let me get that here real quick. I can find it. Can I do it? I can do it. Here we go. And I'll send it to you. Here you go, at VMH. There you go. That's the YouTube video on with sprayer tips selection. But yeah, no, I would not use any kind of surfactant along with it. Okay, next up, Wilson Miranda is saying soil temps are at 60 degrees right now. Lowest I've seen since I downloaded the app, the Yard Mastery app. Where do you guys live? You guys must be in Florida. I mean, we don't, 60 degree soil temps, not around here. It was in the high 60s till last week, and above 70 3 weeks ago, Fort Lauderdale. Okay, now I know. Yeah, so you're going to be on that pre-emergent multiple times per year program, Wilson. You're going to want to keep pre-emergent. Where Alan has a really good video on this. I wish I had it linked here, but he has a really good video talking about, particularly in Florida, doing more than just 2 pre-emergent apps on some lawns. I mean, in your case where you've got a lot of you've got higher soil temps year round, you might consider it. But here's the thing I would look at too, right? I am not a huge fan of always blasting the lawn with herbicide when you can prevent it. So if you're doing 2 pre-emergent apps, if you're doing one in the fall, one in the spring, and you're not having a bunch of issues with weed, you're not having a lot of weed pressure in the lawn, why? I mean, just roll with that. Like when it comes to any of the sides, right? So insecticide, fungicide, herbicide, any of the sides, any of the stuff designed to kill stuff, unless you are using like a non-toxic or an organic option, like like the Miramichi Green Pest Control, which is non-toxic, anything that has toxins in it, you want to minimize how much of that stuff you put into the soil, and really how much you just handle it in general, right? So if you're getting good results with only doing 2 pre-emergent applications, spring and fall, I would just continue to do that. I wouldn't introduce another one unless there's a reason for it. But yeah, with your soil temps, yeah, weeds can grow year round, given what you're describing there. Okay, all right. Adrian, he's here. He says, hey, Ron, I'm going to mix Release Zero with some liquid fertilizer apps this season. You absolutely should do that. It's awesome stuff. That's exactly how I use it. Thanks to the discount code for the Academy. Might be a steal. Too late to change your mind. I just became a member. I appreciate that, sir. But yeah, if you look on the videos that I did last year, Adrian, like the 3 products that you're gonna get in the, well, you got one of them. You got Release Zero, in the golf course lawn kit, which are, first of all, the one you got, Release Zero. This is 12% or 10% micronized carbon. So the thing about this is it helps with nutrient availability. And it's a catalyst for anything else you're applying, especially it's a foliar app. So if you're doing a fungicide that needs to stick to the leaf, and where you're dealing with a fungus that's not one that needs to be watered in, this is going to help. Insecticide, same thing. Fertilizer, same thing. Anything you use with this is going to help increase uptake. And then the other thing, which you did not mention, but you should, is NutriKelp, which is 24% kelp, and it's also got a little bit of NPK in it, a little bit of nitrogen, a splash of nitrogen, spice of phosphorus, and a bit of potassium. And then finally is the BioSpectrum, which is some capsules that we package this way, but it's really this container here, which you can get the big bag if you want on the store. And what this is it's microbial. It's a way of introducing microbes, healthy microbes, and food that the microbes feed on into the soil. So if you look at a lot of the stuff that we're doing to our lawns, right? Like one of the worst things, I want to say one of the worst, but one of the things that we do to keep the lawns nice is fungicide. And while fungicide is really good at keeping lawn fungus away, it's very, very bad for the microbial activity in the lawn. Like it's like dropping an atom bomb on the microbial activity. So that's why using something like BioSpectrum that comes with the carbon kit, along with and also introducing a lot of carbon, like I like Essential G, but if you have something else that you like, that's fine too. Some kind of organic material, whether it's compost, whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be Essential G if you don't want to use that. But if you have some other product you like, it's a good thing to do that, especially if you're applying fungicides to help restore that. You're beating up the stuff that breaks down fertilizer and makes it available to the plant. You got to give it a little bit of love to help it recover from all the abuse that we are subjecting it to with the fungicide applications. But yeah, I appreciate you joining the Academy, sir. I'll check here once I get off the live stream if you've already signed up for the Facebook group, because once you join the Academy, there's some descriptions in there on how to join the Facebook group, and I personally make sure that the person that's actually joining is the person that's actually in the Academy, because I've had people in the past come in there just to try and cause trouble, so I'm very particular about that. I want to protect the group, but yeah, get sure you do that while you go through the lessons, and we'll get you all set up. I appreciate it. Looking forward to hanging out with you. Okay, Justin Aguilar says, I also use high yield dimensions pre-emergent for Bermuda grass for winter. Should I switch to Prediamine 007 for the spring? Yeah, so if you did dimension in the fall, if you want to go to Prediamine in the spring, that works great. Altering them back and forth is a good thing. They are both great pre-emergents. They're both reasonably priced. They're both available in a granular form if that's the way you want to go. There's really just no reason, Justin, to not go back and forth. Like literally the price difference, I think, between, like I can look at it here really quick and tell you. I mean, the price difference between, weed killer here. So the price difference between granular Prediamine and granular Dithiopyr is less than like $5 or $6. It's like not even $10. So there's no reason to not alternate between spring and fall. There's no reason to just not do that. Hopefully that helps. All right. Next up, we have John Williams. He says, will many of your products be applicable for me due to the fact that I have centipede grass? I'm wondering if many of the things I see on your website good for my grass being in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, so just stay away from the outside of the Prediamine. Everything that I've talked about tonight, outside of the post-emergent herbicides. So like with Celsius, I think Celsius is fine on centipede. It's Bahia grass you can't put it on. I have to check the label on that, but it's fine for. I'm almost say it's fine for centipede, but it's not good for Bahia. Outside of the post-emergent herbicides, John, like the fertilizer, so Humic Max, the carbon kit, so like pretty much all. I'll show you here real quick. Pretty much all the stuff you're seeing here. So like the carbon kit, Release Zero, Humic Max, the NutriKelp, and Biospectrum. That's safe. That's perfect on your grass. It's good for all grass types. The fertilizer, good for all grass types. Essential G, good for all grass types. Turflex, good for all grass types. Pretty much all this stuff will work on all grass types, all lawns. It's really when you start getting into herbicides, stuff that kills stuff, that you need to be more careful, right? Celsius, I want to say is I'm almost positive it is safe for centipede. It's Bahia grass you can't put it on, and Prediamine as a pre-emergent is safe for centipede as well. So if you're using Prediamine, which we also have as your pre-emergent, you're good to go. And all of the fertilizer apps and biostimulant products, anything from Miramichi Green, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good to go. None of the Miramichi Green products that you see in the store are particular to a warm or cool season grass type. They will work on all grass types. So hopefully that helps. All right, good stuff, guys. We are winding down. You guys about talking about. It's a long night tonight, man. You guys have a lot of questions. Either you guys have a lot of questions, or I'm talking a whole lot. Which is it? Is it I'm talking a whole lot, or we have a lot of questions? I want to say you guys have a lot of questions. All right, let me see. I think we have our last comment of the evening, and this is from Clayton Wilson. He says, "Hey Ron, I am looking to adjust my pH before spring. Adjust, you say? I need 6 bags of lime. Can you tell me the difference between a $5 bag and a $30 bag of lime?" Okay, so if you are buying a $30 bag of lime, if you're buying it online, that's when it would cost like $30, because a lot of what you're paying for is the shipping. Like we carry some products from Jonathan Green, like the Magical products that are very good. They're effective for changing your pH, but a lot of the price you're paying is the shipping cost associated with it, right? So a $5 bag, like when I've gotten lime locally, I normally pay around $10 for a bag of it. And that is for dolomitic lime. It's for dolomitic lime. So if you're buying it locally, like you're buying it in a store, like the 2 bags are there shouldn't be, a $5. It shouldn't be that much difference. I mean, like around 10 to $15 is what I would expect to pay for a bag of lime. You can probably get it a little bit less if you're buying it in bulk. But $30 for lime is a bit rich, a bit steep, unless you're buying it online. If you're buying it online, then that's the par for the course. It's just the way it's going to be, or even more depending on how big a bag you're buying. But if you went to like a big box store and they had a $5 bag of lime and a $30 bag of lime, I don't see a compelling reason to go with a $30 bag of lime. I mean, so tell you what, to help you out, if you don't mind, send me an email after the fact here, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Send me an email with it and let me know what the products are. The one thing that some of the better lime products have is that the limestone, like it tends to be smaller. You have a smaller prill, a finer prill, so it breaks down sooner or easier, but that's still available in like a $10 bag of lime. You need to pay $30 to get that. So send me an email if you want with what you're looking at getting, and we can see if we can work out a plan that will save you some coin. Hopefully that helps. All right. Next up, we have Patrick from Texas. He says, what is the preferred height of cut for my winter fescue? Mowing every other day. For fescue, I mean, most tall fescue likes to be 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches or taller. Like the tall fescue, the taller you mow it, the better. That's kind of its thing, Patrick. For the winter, I don't know that you really need to change it that much. I mean, I'll have to do some research and get back to you on that one. That's a good question. I don't know if for fescue you should change the height of cut for winter months. I would not cut it shorter. I would not lower the height of cut. If anything, I'd let it get a little bit taller. But I'll look into that and I'll get an answer for you. That's a good question. That's a good question. Don't know off the top of my head on that one. You said here, I sent an email picture. Great. So I'll look at the email and I will answer your question at the end of the live stream. I might actually ping Demir and ask him what his thoughts are on that too, since he is a cool season guy. All right. James Allen says, James Kelly says, I have done the Yard Mastery Boot Camp with Alan. What is the difference between your course? So the Yard Mastery Boot Camp, if you talk to Alan, because I've been through it too. Like Alan has seen my course, I've seen his course. His course is awesome. Really great course. Great job. You can think of Alan's course is designed more for someone that is an absolute beginner that is not trying to achieve the kind of results that I have with my lawn. So his course is not going to cover things like reel mowing, like a lot of the Miramichi green products that you see. It's not going to cover like plant growth regulator, those types of things. It's an excellent course. It's a great course for someone that is getting into taking care of their own lawn, and tells you like how to measure out products and weigh out products, all the things you need to know, how to use a broadcast spreader properly. I cover that in my course as well, but the focus is more around getting golf course grass at home, right? So the entire process that goes into that. So they are both courses on lawn care. You could ask Alan what he thinks. I mean, because he's seen both of them, but I think he would tell you that like my audience is more niche, a bit more narrower than Alan's audience. Like he appeals to a much broader audience. Like if you just want your grass to look good, you want your grass to look green, and want weeds out of it, then a lot of what he's going to cover is going to be great in that course. That's exactly what you're going to want. I get into a lot of the minutia that really will take a lawn from here to there, especially if you're into reel mowing and really getting that golf course lawn look at home. That's the difference. I mean, we're comparable, but if you asked him, he would tell you that my course is catered more towards an audience that I hate to say is more hardcore, but a little bit more hardcore group than someone that is getting into taking care of their own lawn, if that makes sense. So I've seen both of them. Again, he has access to my course. I've seen his, and again, both are great. The audience or the goals of the audience is slightly different. So hopefully that helps. All right, but here's the thing, James. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to try it out and see, and if the material is not what you expect or not what you like, or you get in the group and you're like, you know what, I really don't like this Ron Henry guy. I can't stand him, or I can't deal with these other guys. Within 30 days, let me know, and I will give you every penny of your money back. So you've got 30 days to try it out with no risk to you whatsoever. So there is that if you're on the fence about trying it. All right, next up we got LJ in the house. He says, I won't be around next month to put down pre-emergent. Will it hurt if I put it down now, Atlanta, Georgia? No, it won't hurt. But I mean, here's the thing: I would delay it as late as you can. If you're leaving, I'm not sure if you are like maybe you serve in the armed forces or something where you have to be gone for a long period of time, but I would wait as late as you can, to do that. Just because there's no reason to do it now. You can, but if you can wait 2 weeks, then you can do it then. But I mean, the big thing is if you can't wait, getting it down is better than not doing it at all. But I would, when it comes to February, with you being in Atlanta, you're in the same climate as I have. So waiting until first, second week of February, and then you have to take off and do whatever it is you're gonna go do. That would be, it's just you're just extending the effectiveness period of the herbicide. So hopefully that helps. Do not leave without putting some pre-emergent down though. I'd rather you put it down now and get it down early than not do it at all. Hopefully that helps. You are very, very welcome, No Name. You're very, very welcome. No problem at all. And you says $100 is definitely worth all the advice over the year. I'd like to think so. And again, if you use the discount code, you have a way to in addition to the Facebook group, which is really awesome, and the course material, which is really awesome, you have a way to save some money on all the lawn care products you can use at the golf course lawn store, the Miramichi Green products, which is very nice as well. Very, very cool. Well, guys and gals, I think you guys have talked me out. I've tried to go on longer, but I think, what are we at? 3.5 hours? 3, 4, wait, I don't know, whatever it is. Whatever it is now, I'm losing track of time. 3.5 hours or so is, we're gonna have to call it there. Hopefully you guys found this useful. It was a really, really fun one. You got some really good tips for getting weeds and keeping weeds out of your lawn. And remember, go to the golf course lawn store, the link that's pinned in the chat. It will also be in the description of this video if you're watching it later, where to go to get the products we spoke about. So again, your Prediamine in granular and liquid form, your dithiopyr in granular form. And if you need post-emergent herbicides, we got you covered there as well too. Also, again, the Golf Course Lawn Store is where you can pick up the Golf Course Lawn Academy at a discount. Use the discount code Academy30 to save 30% on it. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that discount code around, but take advantage of it while it lasts. Guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It was a really, really fun show. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. All the winners, make sure you guys sent me an email with your mailing address. So Tim Jackson, Robert Mahoris, Dalvin, send me an email to Ron at Golf Course Lawn with your mailing address or where you want your soil test kits to go, and I will